So what are you gonna do? Just hover that around?
I don't know how it actually works. To be honest, I think it just sucks in air.
Maybe we get the
Canadian government. Okay, calm down there, John. Okay. Pump the brakes, John. Pump the brakes. All right, Joey. It's Friday. What do you got planned for the weekend, my guy?
Just gym, and more gym, man.
Gym, and more gym. It's gonna rain in Toronto tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's probably gonna be an indoor day for your boy. But Sunday.
Yeah, no, this evening, if we don't.
This evening should be good.
Yeah, we'll see if we get out there today.
Sunday what?
Sunday's a big day.
Why? I'm sorry, Neil. I blanked out for 1 second. 5 o'clock game tomorrow. 3 o'clock game on Sunday. We got the third place game tomorrow. Yeah, Katina,
Tomorrow's
man. It's
the third
England,
place, yeah.
England versus France, brother. That's
France.
a good one, man. That's a good one, Katina, man.
And then Sunday you have Spain and Argentina.
Sia, predictions. Go.
Oh my God. Okay. I think 2 Spain and 3 Argentina.
Ooh.
I don't like this, but I think it could go overtime too. And it could go into penalties. And Spain could catch up.
Okay, I like that. I like that prediction.
That's what I think. 2-3.
I like that prediction. It's very
2-3.
detailed.
Yeah.
Joe, give me your predictions there.
I want Spain to win.
You want Spain to win?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe 2-1 Argentina here.
2-1 Argentina, though, huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say 3-1 Spain.
Whoa.
I'm gonna say 3-1 Spain. Boys, do you want to chime in with your predictions? Neil says he's so bitter.
I hope they both lose.
With the elimination of England, that he hopes they both lose. So, there is that.
Ozan wants Mexico to win.
Hate.
And he likes that. Yeah, because I'm voting for Spain. Katina, man, give us your pick, brother. Come on.
I hope that Messi can once again, solidify the best player in the world and grab that. He already is, but grab the next World Cup, and then he can be done. So I think I'm cheering for Argentina.
Okay.
I'm going to say 2-1, and I do like what Sia is saying, possible extra time goal.
Yeah, I do like that prediction as well. Okay. I'm going to go with our Luis Barbado guy because, if I ever see him, I don't want him to hold that over my head, right?
España.
So we're going to go with España, guys. All right. We'll see everybody, same bat time, same bat channel on Monday. The big boys, they're already in the screen, but they're actually that way.
Yeah, we're just
actually that would be a reason because I don't have a dog in the fight.
That's why.
Luis wants it to win, but that being said, Messi, it would be it's a storybook.
Yeah, that's
it's
why.
A storybook.
That's why. I mean, it's like
I'm not really that bitter.
Want the best for the best players.
So that's a cool way to go.
I'm going to cheer for.
That's
Messi.
a cool way to go out.
We'll see what winds up happening.
It's and even better if it wasn't. Can you imagine an extra time goal? Even if you set it up.
Look what they've done. So they're the only team. They have not been winning in the 90th minute in any knockout games. They played 3 knockout games, and they were losing or tied in the 90th minute of every single game, and have come back to win. And they didn't even need penalty kicks, right? Or was it penalty kicks against Egypt? No, it wasn't.
You're convincing me.
France, England.
Yeah, France.
England tomorrow.
No. I'm saying against Egypt, Argentina was not penalty kicks, is what I'm saying.
Nobody cares about tomorrow.
Right. That's what it was. Yeah, Messi. I was calling him Missy because he missed a couple times there. But
shout out to iShow Speed.
Anyways, yeah, he hopefully he'll be able to have a good one. And yeah, whatever you guys are doing this, it's funny because we were supposed to have. I'll be up north this weekend, but we're supposed to have practice on Sunday. And some of the coaches were like, they got to try to figure out if there's. Because I think it's 3 p.m. is the practice. I think the game is 4 p.m. or something like that.
You know what's wild? This happened to me when I was a kid. We were playing in a tournament in Barrie, like a baseball tournament, and it was during the World Cup.
Yeah, that's.
And I remember, it was a huge because we were playing with Brampton versus Brampton in this tournament. But remember that dude, Gaiman?
Yeah,
he was there's a guy who was.
His last name Teague or something?
If he didn't get hurt, he's the best ball player I've ever seen in my life. And then
That's because you never saw Joe on the diamond.
No, it's there were dudes that made it, got drafted that we around our time, but this guy was the dude. And so they were playing against us, but the World Cup was on. Half the parents weren't even bothering.
No.
They didn't care. They either had the radio on or they just dropped us off and they were watching it somewhere. Because it was a World Cup. It was a World Cup, and we're sitting there trying to play as 12-year-olds or whatever the heck we were at the time, maybe 13 or 14. But look, we'll get there, and. I'm gonna.
The days go by.
I'm gonna change my opinion. I do think I am bitter. I would have wished England could bring it home, but yeah, whatever. I can't be.
Remember, they are the Maple Leafs, man. They haven't. Both teams haven't won since the '60s.
I can't begrudge. Argentina's been that would be the story beginning. So I guess it'll be more fun to root for them. But
I like that one. And one thing that we are rooting for, of course, is symbol Orogenics, OGEN. We are rooting for them because they do have new phase 2 clinical trials here in Australia with its first site fully operational now and patient dosing expected next. They're developing ONP-002, an intranasal treatment targeting concussion and mild traumatic brain injury, an area where there are currently no FDA-approved therapies. Alongside that, Orogenics has spent the past year strengthening its balance sheet, raising capital, resolving liabilities, and restoring exchange compliance. The focus now shifts to execution, with clinical progress underway and additional CNS assets under evaluation. Go grab them right now. OGen, if you've had concussion issues or know anybody that did, go check them out right there. It's Orogenics, symbol OGEN. Go find some more information. I got to get into the right chat here.
Right. Well, the only chat you need,
multiple ones.
But you don't have to join because we've got the amalgamated. The best is when we sit back down and see how
I can't chat with.
I had 5,000 messages from when I sat back down here. That's how crazy it is. And by the way, this is all YouTube, TikTok, like everything out there, like X. Like it's all into one. So Zion's saying kneel down to bet. Pineapple pizza eating live if you lose. Argentina take this one. I just said I'm gonna loosely go for Argentina because I don't care. I literally don't care.
Some Argentina.
Mopar, no lead.
Exactly.
Yeah. Attacking to the end. They're just.
I mean, what's his name?
Definition
just
of
turned
clutch.
19. That Lemieux guy just turned 19. And there's actually a picture of Messi and when holding him as a baby. So it's like actually quite crazy how this all comes, full circle there.
That's one of those we're living in the simulation
predicted 3-2 because there was that one Twitter account that said on July the 19th or whatever, 2026, Argentina will beat Spain 3-2 in the World Cup final. So someone made this prediction 5 years ago, even before the past World Cup. So that was kind of crazy to make that call. But having a little coffee here. We just did get out some more, just to talk about the only trade that Neil's got DRAM about SpaceX. This is the same one. Did you find it? Yeah.
Is this it?
Must be. Some Dilemma or something the guy's name was? Yeah, if that was the name. Dilemma, yeah.
Argentina just beat Spain at 2026 World Cup final 3-2. Mm-hmm. So if that happens, the world is simulation.
So people are now betting all that, and they're betting like that this guy knows something for some reason, and yada, yada, yada. So
how about this? We should make a...
should make like a why don't we'll do like a pineapple pizza thing if the final score is 3-2.
Yeah, I was going to say if
because then it's like, then we have to celebrate that.
We have to do something.
So
we can just have beer.
We'll grab that. But I want to put some jalapenos on it. Because,
but I like jalapenos.
I know exactly. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be the worst pizza in the world. We'll just get a good pizza with pineapple, and we'll see. Go the one sweet, a little spicy over there. But yeah, just quickly here, SpaceX. Same kind of trade that we had before. Unfortunately, I wasn't sitting here to short this area. I think that would have been okay. I do have a 127 ready to go. That never filled. So if it does come back up there, we'll wait to see if we can get that 126.95. Is where I was sitting, and we got to 126.50, so that didn't come through. I want to be pretty specific with what we were going to do here. Didn't want to give back, some of what we have done there, and obviously that was going to be a spot there. So 27s, 127, and then now you've come in a couple of times here. So I know we're $1.50 in the money. You gotta. Although we wait for these monster plays, which we just got, and this was a bid that I put at 123, it filled. So on the way back in, came in, bumped back down there again. So every time SpaceX sort of makes these lows, it seems to make higher lows after that into the afternoon. So I don't know if we're going to retest some of those bottom takes there, but we're happy to be in SpaceX right now, short. And again, it was like, we wrote down 130 on the note, but never got up there. We joined you guys back with Intel stopping me out, and we got filled on AMD, so we're out of a quarter of that in our long-term portfolio. We did literally long-term. That was the tax. That was the RRSP that I had AMD in. So, and it's embarrassing. I don't even want to tell you like how long we've been holding that, but all the way to the downside right there into $93 goes Intel. Covered. We did not average it back in up here, and then we stopped out for flat, or maybe it was a 10-cent hit there as we break above 96 in our last 5%. So, sometimes we hold 5% and it goes all the way down, and I'm like, why do we only have so small? But it looks pretty good when you get stopped out, right? So, take your profits where it is and then trail out, as Neil likes to say, on that trade. And then we made a move into $98. I still think that that's a good short too, right there into 98. Remember, Intel next week, man.
I'm a stickler about that trail out thing.
Adara's gonna drop, I think at 3 p.m. I think she drops the next week's earnings.
Yeah.
And we talked about that yesterday. So at 3 p.m., stay tuned for Adara's next week earnings report. There.
You know what it's gonna be?
I know it's Google on Wednesday.
This earnings is like, remember in American Gladiator? Well, I guess they have a new American Gladiator now. Remember the Gauntlet?
That game, we used to watch that a lot.
Dude, that I loved American Gladiator was like just a great show.
It's like all those guys were on roids and everything like that. And
Two Scoops.
Yeah, I was gonna say the skinny black dude.
Two Scoops and Dan was a Dan something. They were like the two best guys. They went.
Yeah.
I think his name was. I don't know. It doesn't even matter.
Oh no, there was one also. There was a roller derby thing too.
Oh, I
What was
know what
that
you're
called?
talking about.
That was really fun. They should bring those things back.
Roller Derby. Roller Derby still exists.
Netflix right now.
Roller Derby still exists. I'm pretty sure they still have leagues.
But it was called something else, man. Well, I think it was fake, anyways.
Roller Derby? It was kind of like wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roller Derby was
Whatever it was
basically like
called.
wrestling, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was. Anyways,
Yeah.
it was like on after American.
But they
Gladiator.
still do that. It's
I
gotta
don't know
be
if they
something.
do or not.
No, but that would be cool. On that. Look, straight up, if they brought back Roller
Yeah,
Derby,
Nitro and Laser, bury the
I would be
Blade
all over
remembers
that. First of all, I guarantee you a few of those guys probably, because they were back then like everybody was using.
I
So,
would think that some of them have passed away.
Turbo.
There was a bunch of guys there, man, that were.
No, but we're going through the gauntlet next week. That's the point. Like once we get through these earnings, you see the way the market's reacted today, and obviously, okay, first look.
What's the market doing?
Like DRAM is up 3. You see these moves, it did come to the third level. So VWAP, that resistance, and then we pulled back into this prior high, and once it curled there, we jumped into it. But we'll try to get the third one to go. I just feel like when we get into this, look at how far we've pulled back. If we blow out earnings, when I say we, I'm talking about tech next week. If every name just lines it up and beat, even with the CapEx spend ain't going down, and we don't rally off of that, that's a big problem. So that's what I mean by we're going through the gauntlet for sure. I see we got a few super chats up here. Let's just get right onto them. We got Chris, I believe is the first one.
Okay.
Oh, and Chris is the second one too. Chris Arksy. Qs to close at lows to create a panic sell on Monday. If the Qs, well, that would be really bad.
But why would we panic sell on Monday? I mean, I think it's ahead of good earnings next week. I don't know if there's going to be a panic sell.
I think I'd be more worried about selling after than necessarily Monday. But yeah, Monday, whatever. Like Monday's known for like big time crazy moves to the downside. I'd be very surprised if the Qs got to the lows today. Like that would be triggering something. I would imagine we'd need to have some scare from the president or something. Like something distinct would have to happen for us to drop all the way back down into the lows. And then the next super chat, we start with Chris and we got another one. This is Chris Landrum. McDonald's for a swing long. What do you guys think? They've had a GLP problem for sure. Like what name is working in the space? We were talking when people were asking about that Wendy's squeeze. I was like, how far do you think Wendy's is going to go if McDonald's can't even get some kind of a bounce? Because they're not loving it right now on McDonald's. For me, underneath the 50 period, there's nothing lining up on the daily chart. Let's look at a weekly chart at McDonald's. Sometimes you get great weekly levels, and maybe you're pulling into something there. I like 250 looks really good. Double bottom from 2023 and 2024. So it's bounced off this multiple times. I think that would be at least an area of interest because all we're gonna do is look at the charts for you. Like it's in a pullback in the short term. So for me, I really don't see anything enticing. But if you zoom it out far enough, like the weekly or the monthly, like sometimes that's where you can pick up some good price levels. Man, the monthly looks like trash. McDonald's. Okay, so that's crazy. I'm glad I looked at the monthly chart. This is consecutive months now closing under the 50 period when it has not done that. Close under the 50 period on the monthly, probably somewhere back in here. So this looks like it probably did it before 2005. You're talking about over a decade since McDonald's has closed underneath the 50 period on the monthly, and it did it last month, and it's continuing this month. Yuck. Yeah, I don't like that at all. I'm glad I zoomed out. No, I wouldn't touch that. I don't like McDonald's anymore. I mean, I like McDonald's, but I don't like
stock.
McDonald's. My daughter loves McDonald's. She's like chicken nuggets, smoothie, and all day breakfast, and she was sausage and egg.
Oh, she's a
sausage egg McMuffin, chicken nuggets, and then mango smoothie. That's the go-to.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like McDonald's for the breakfast for sure. Yeah, Wendy's has been going sort of crazy as well lately. If you wanted to get a quick look, we do have munch. There it is, Mom. I bought Netflix dip. Mom? Okay. I bought Netflix on the dip at 66. Expiring 7/24. So that's a week. So you got a week there. Calls $66. So we can have a look at Netflix. I mean, that was at the low today for Netflix. I mean, I think you got a really great price there. And, we always talk about the 3-day rule for Netflix. And, that was definitely a washout here this morning on NFLX. And I mean, if you're going to take a price, and again, like, I don't know the right price to take for options, especially expiring next week. But hey, man, if you paid anything more than, $3 for it or less than $3, you're in the money now as we get up to 69 and change, let alone, sort of the time being in your favor right now if it's going to be in the money, because you still got a week before you have to exercise those. I do think that a reasonable level for Netflix to get back to is this $73, $74 area, and I think it can do it by next week easily. Do it by Monday, right? I mean, if you get an up day in the NASDAQ on Monday, like up 1 or 1.5%, Netflix will be at $74, $75. So I think you've got a great call there, and obviously when you buy options, especially, buying a call like that, you're going to pay a lot of premium. Netflix down 666 as we talk about it, and the devil is in this name. But you got to be very, very careful with NFLX, just because the premium is probably pretty expensive now. I don't know what you paid, but I really like that call for Netflix. I think that should be a good one, down 6%, and at a level that we know it can bounce from. It's had memory to bounce from there before. SpaceX at VWAP. I've already taken a couple fills here, which I basically considered VWAP. That was 125.25. So I'm going to let this fall back into some more range here for SpaceX. What about 124.50s? Let's put a bid there and go find out what Adara's up to.
Here what I hear on Spotify and Apple. Verge reporting that Apple Music is getting a price hike. Now, as you can see, Apple, not too much of a reaction. Spotify trying to hang out here near intraday highs. Just be aware of this headline as we send you back to the guys.
Spotify.
I don't know John Anderson's. What's John?
What is John?
I don't know. In the chat here, we did have a note from, I think it was John. Oh yeah, I just refreshed my messages. 3,900
right
as well in there. Here it is. Right.
Get
here.
it, chat.
Yeah, TLPYO.
Wow.
Where are you located? Because I'd never heard. Is this I don't know if it's a franchise or what.
Anderson?
John Anderson's Burger. You guys got to fill us in on that one. No local burgers. That place that we had that one time that was really good, that Obi recommended, I can't remember what it is now.
They are. They're in Canada.
What? John Anderson?
I've never heard. There's one in Markham.
Okay. Cabanos was the one around here.
I've never heard of this.
Okay, well, we'll have to go get a John Anderson's
Hey,
burger.
Vic Park? What?
Victoria Park? Okay, so up in Scarborough there? Okay, well, we can get, we can maybe get some of that there.
Just because we're in Canada doesn't mean we know everything in Canada. I've never heard of that. It's the first I've ever heard of it.
Place. All right, so 64,000 IBIT trying to go upside down here a little bit. IBIT. We could have a quick look over there, see if that chart's doing anything. Yeah, so like nice comeback there for IBIT. Actually looking, See, for me, this actually looks like a short.
Flat bottom.
Trying to break just the last 30 minutes or so here on actually last hour breaking down. Yeah, actually, I don't mind this because then we can use our 50 period, our 25 period moving averages. Yeah, 36.20. We're getting pretty close. Let's put that in right now. We'll go with like a unit. We won't go too hard there. 36.19. We'll break that a little lower here. You don't get much slippage on IBIT, so we'll use a unit. Actually, I just put 1.5 units on right here for that break of 19, and then into the 200 period. So 20 cents if we can get it. Maybe we'll probably wind up taking 15 cents if we're lucky enough to do that, especially with the out, like we have our out. I don't think we need to use the very top, but we can use some of these wicks, 32, 35s. Well, actually, we can go all the way to 40s here if it breaks. That's 20 cents. I think there's room to get to the downside, especially if we are thinking that maybe there is a little bit of a downside draft here coming this afternoon. I mean, the NASDAQ is peeling back. We want to see what happens at VWAP if it gets there. Like, that's a good break short there. I mean, hindsight, right? When you're coming back and you're looking at any stock or anything you're trading, whether or not it's, Forex, a commodity, whatever. But like that matches. So to me, it's this breakdown right here. So it probably would have been that price, 28,950 on the NASDAQ. This little area, boom, to the downside, gave you a little bit, about 100 points there on, you know, your NASDAQ futures. So that would have been on fire if you would have got that one. And then, you know, thinking about maybe where you would have got out, it might be in and around this area, you know, because you did have some kind of support last time it bounced there. So a little bit of a look on the NASDAQ just to see where we go from there. And then I just saw, okay, oh, this halted, but this is a pink sheet. This showed up as a halt. I didn't think pink sheets could halt, but I guess maybe SRAFF.
I didn't know they halt.
I didn't know they did either. This one might be a nothing burger. It's 20 cents, so I don't know what that is. There, okay, this one too, ACMM.
I don't
Nope. S dot. Ooh, S dot. But this hasn't halted, so I just went, so we have a halt scanner here, and we just kind of go through it all. And this is brought to you by Real Trading here on the P8. It's proprietary software. So we got questioned yesterday about like what software we're using. Oh, there we go. You want to zoom in on it? Yeah. So we could just click on any one of these and it gives us the time. The only problem is it doesn't give us, well, I guess here, halted. Okay, it gives us if it's halted or unhalted. I didn't even realize it did that. But it doesn't show the volume. And that was something that I want to put a request in because otherwise I won't show it to you guys if the volume is really weak. But S dot is a name that's, you know, we've heard of many times before. And there it is today. Up, it's just up 87%.
I think you might have jinxed it.
What, now it's falling back down?
I don't know. It just broke that 27.
S dot, yeah, I mean, it's whatever, man. It's been $28 this whole afternoon. So we'll wait to see. There's the halt that I was talking about. That's the last significant halting stock here today as it's Friday. It's gorgeous weather outside. It's, you know, a little bit of light trading as we get ready for earnings. No major anything to worry about. But we do have a new position because IBIT cracking again to the low side. I do that same sort of look that I just did on the futures. I mean, I think that breakdown gets us to around here. You know, so if we can play this range, that would be 15 cents. And I think, you know, upside even into, I mean, we don't have that much. So I think we could probably stop out here on a break of 40 on the upside there. But this would be, that's your 15 cents or so. You know, that's 35. So if you wanted to go 1-to-1, that's kind of what you're looking for. I don't play the whole 2-to-1, 3-to-1, you know, 1-to-1 game in the afternoon because, you know, if the market just drifts really slowly down and then starts to catch a bid, I mean, I don't have a problem getting out of it. It doesn't have to be, you know, that huge banger of a trade. What you're trying to do is basically just, and we're going to be, you know, we don't have any red names today. We've done pretty good. It's going to be a big day, not a big day, but a decent day. So we'll just sit here and wait for IBIT. So we're right now short at 19. And as we had, I'm short at 18.5. What does it show on there? 19s. Okay. So a little bit of,
you know what's interesting? It doesn't always round the,
if you get a half point, it goes up.
I swear.
Well, you know what? Maybe
the next time I'll show it. I have seen it where it rounds the other way on a midpoint. Because I'll take midpoints on stocks.
Let's just figure out then if it's the longs. The longs might round down and the shorts might round up.
Yeah, I was in NEO one time on the show, and I remember like I got the midpoint on bats. I'm like, what is it talking about?
Well,
like,
I mean, look what Neil and I are talking about here. If you can you zoom into this, Andre? Because who's over there? Yeah, Andre. Because like, as you'll see here, I want to try to zoom in on this time and sales. Perfect. Like there's so many prints, even though that's only 5 shares, there's a lot of prints that go, there's another one share, you know, there's a lot of shares that go, there's another one, 284, that print in between. Like here's a bunch.
There's a big one.
There's on 2,700 right there on the BATS gateway. That's what Z is. So there's lots of these prints that go through that have nothing to do with bids and offers. It's in between. So like when you're punching short, so when 19 broke, I ran into an 18.5. So that's kind of like the look, right? And so sometimes you get those prints. And just to show you guys, that's what it is. I'm not going to average it. I mean, maybe I'll average in a little bit here at 26 or 27 on this trade. But right now, IBIT just kind of hanging out. And we'll do our best with this trade as a 1-unit trade. We'll see if we put on a little bit more to get to 1.5 units. But right now, that's IBIT. So we'll wait.
Yeah, I'm jumping in. As you can see, Fabian put in some work behind me. It's like, I don't know, man. There's something about like
as long as he understands our insurance, I don't know.
On a ladder behind you, gets you a little bit.
No, we don't, Fabian. We don't have insurance.
There's also workman's comp around here either. So
My guy.
Just be very safe. D-Wave, QBTS on the 15-minute, all-day trend breaker on the 15-minute.
Ooh, that
could be in this candle, but I'm going to take it on this one here. Basically, just going to give it to the top of the prior bar on the 15-minute, which is 17.21. So that's where my stop goes. I'll probably put it at 22 because that's how I roll. And then I'm trying to get more shares here so I can be a little bit closer to 10. Not that it really makes a difference, but I actually have not gotten the full fill. I'm trying to go short here. So I am in the short, but I am trying to get more shares closer to 10 on QBTS. We're going to the wall.
Oh,
with Adara.
Is it the window? Is it the walls? Is it the desk?
I was saying desk, and then I looked at the camera and see Adara at the wall.
Yes, guys, it's the Friday afternoon edition of To the Window, To the Wall, where I pull up a chart image or infographic window. We put it on the wall. I see a lot of people in the chat say, what window? This is the window. It's the visual. So let's get into it, guys. This is a look at Netflix's numbers of viewers per show for Q2 2026. I did tease you guys during the midday at another Netflix infographic. This is it. It's going to come out on Saturday afternoon, so stay tuned for that. Now, I want to say here as well, just to address how we got these numbers, Netflix includes them in their quarterly earnings reports. So in addition to their revenue, to their guidance, their margins or whatever, all of the financial stuff, they also have a whole portion where they mention the number of viewers for a whole bunch of their programs that came out during that quarter. So I'm going to go through some of these names, and you might notice a theme, which might be that you've never heard of them. So we start here with the TV shows. I Will Find You, by far the most successful Netflix new TV show during the quarter, which they even acknowledged here. Then there's Legends, Teach You a Lesson, which is a South Korean program. Berlin and the Lady with an Ermine. The Polygamist, Flunked, and Rosario Tijeras, which apparently was a successful series in Latin America. Then you go down to films here, and you've got a whole bunch of other movies that I'm not sure too many people have heard of here. Apex, Office Romance, Voicemails for Isabel, Remarkably Bright Creatures, and then two very successful documentaries here, Maternal Instinct and The Crash. Now, what I really noticed here as a theme for the shows is most of the programs they mentioned here are international. And as I mentioned here during the midday, what you're really seeing as well with Netflix is a sharp uptick in international revenue growth, especially compared to only 10% international, 10% the US and Canada growth. The growth that we're seeing in every other region is surpassing that. It's over 10%. So I think, it's pretty obvious here, as I said during the midday as well, Netflix is really, I think, trying to center more content here that is not in the English language, which I think is a really good move here to try to grow and expand in the regions that are growing the fastest. But I think maybe, as you can see here, we used to see a lot of programs where we were super familiar with, like some of the ones that came out during Q1 include the second season of One Piece. You had Bridgerton season 4, I believe, right? That's not what we're seeing here. We're seeing a lot of stuff that I just don't think is necessarily picking up to the best degree or as well, as maybe some of their past series have, with the exception, of course, of the successes here of, I would say, Maternal Instinct and The Crash, these two documentaries. So interesting look. You can check this out over the weekend on X at TTV Research. And that is today's edition of To the Window, To the Wall, as we send you back over to the desk.
Okay. I literally looked at all of those names. I am a subscriber of Netflix. I'm sure my wife has watched some of those movies or shows, but I have no idea about any of those titles.
The worst part is I've watched one of them, and even when I saw the title, I was like, what is that? And then I remembered, I did watch that. But it was just the trailer was interesting, and I remember watching it. I didn't even remember what the title was. It was that I Will Find You.
I'm not familiar with any of them.
And then there's that I didn't watch the Charlize Theron movie, but I don't know, she's a big star, so I guess that's why it's number one. What do we feel about Netflix after looking at that, everybody? I don't know. First of all, how about we do a quick little poll about Netflix? Because we did one for how we thought about the earnings last night. It was about 42% thought Netflix was going up, mid to high 30s down, and then the rest were flat. So in the chat, make it really simple. This is binary. Type 1 if you think the bottom is in and the Netflix bounce is real, and type 2 if you think it is fake or fugazi. So do you think Netflix has made a bottom after all of this downside, or do you think that this was a fake rally? We'll leave this one up for everybody. Get your ones or twos in there. Right now, looking a little bit 50-50. I'm going to get my fugazi in there and type the 2. And there you go. There's the poll. I don't have to leave this up. You can see it for real right behind us. And look, I can also see viewers' top tickers.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, there. I like that. Look better.
SPY, Micron.
Bottom is in.
Bottom is in.
So people are saying fake. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced one way or the other. I mean, you picked Warner Brothers because you think that deal's gonna, mature up. So I think that's trying to play.
I think they can get it done. And then there's this nice little buffer. It's like it's every single, basically you get 1% every single month that it doesn't close past September 30th. So there's a real incentive to get the deal done. And it's all partisan stuff, but we're gonna go back to the desk. We're gonna go through Fabian and back to the desk.
Just a couple updates here from Michael Burry of Big Short fame. He's posted here in Substack. He apparently is added to his long position on DKNG DraftKings, which was announced a couple weeks ago, and he's actually covered his short on Oracle, ORCL. So some updates here from Michael Burry. I think we're probably going to be giving our own portfolio updates here for our stock picks of the year soon. So stay tuned for that as we send you back over to the guys.
You should watch too.
Was she watching?
I'm just telling Sia Big Short that she got to get into that
yeah,
one.
you got to watch the Big Short
as well. Wolf of Wall Street, Dumb Money, all that kind of stuff is just. Is something definitely to watch, especially if you have nothing to do. Those might be on Netflix. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. So just looking forward. So we did get a 25 fill. So I guess now we just got to wait, man. I don't even have the stop order in on this. I don't want to go too crazy here and lose a whole bunch. If this breaks 35, I think we just get out of it. I mean, the market's doing its own thing here. I put that trade on, honestly. We just looked at IBIT and thought about it. So let's put that stop in right now. 36. This is what I don't want to screw up. 36. We'll put that stop in. And we have a key here. You can switch it to, it's kind of neat. You can put 100, 25, 75%. It's not rocket science. You can get out on any of the quarters. In this situation, 100%, so if there was a trade, and I think I need to do a little bit better, I get out of 100% most of the time. But I think, breaking a key level, especially in the morning, maybe you get out of 75%. So, if it's a fake break, you still have something on board. But here, I must push enter before I forget. So that's it. And I just want everyone to know, especially when I'm getting into a position, we drew these lines before. So we try to analyze, how many shares we want, what happens if it goes wrong, where are we going to average in. So we take the, the 50 period moving average, and 25 period would be fine as well. So we take that. And now we just wait to see if this trade will pan out for us. It may not, and if it doesn't, then we have our stop, and it's a very, very light hit if that winds up happening. And just quickly, we are going to go back to Sia, but look, exactly, this is why we got out here, because there was. Look, I wasn't sure if we would bounce off VWAP or not, but both of these are 10 cents, 20 cents ahead of VWAP. So we took those out, and it looks like a complete sort of U-shaped there recovery off of volume weighted average price for SpaceX. So I will put another bid down there just because now we've seen it. And by the way, Intel off of our 96 is bleeding a little bit here as well. That could have been another trade. That was my number one. No, Apple's number one. This is number two. P&L there just on that move, but we could have maybe done that again there instead of IBIT. That was probably a little bit of a better look, but okay. Anyways, it is what it is. We're going to put a bid down here at 125.10 if that feels good, but right now we have something better, and that's Sia at the big desk.
Let's take a look at what is happening now, starting by taking a look at the three major averages and little one IWM. So we have the SPY currently down close to 8%. The triple Qs are down 1.11%. Very good number there. And the Dow is currently down 0.61% at the moment, with the IWM also down 0.54%. Safe to say all the major averages in the red at the moment. Let's take a look at one of the tickers I want to discuss. It's TRV. That's the Travelers Companies that reported pre-market before the bell today. The shares of the Travelers Companies have been rising today and currently up above 8% on the day after the insurance company's latest earnings report pre-market. So it showed $10.04 in earnings per share and beating the Wall Street's consensus of $5.41 shares. So it's almost up by $5. Pretty good. The company also reported up to $2.2 billion in net income compared to about $1.5 billion in last year's quarter. So TRV with that up 8.1% on the day.
Thank you very much there, Sia. And I know we didn't get really much of a chance to talk about DraftKings there.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, I don't know. Look, we know who Michael Burry is. I can't profess to be inside of his mind, but I do know one thing. He doesn't care about the death cross. That much is obviously certain. Because on the weekly chart, death cross on DraftKings. That would be the 50-period moving average, simple moving average, crossing down underneath the 200-period moving average a couple of weeks ago. Anyways, it's just supposed to signal that you could have some weakness, or not really a change of trend, but yeah, some weakness in the stock. But DraftKings, I don't know, if you can't get going now, like, you've made the low, you've made some higher lows, you have the World Cup. I mean, football season's around, like, literally around the corner, so you got to ramp up there, which also means college sports. Like, that's where it's at. You know, put up or shut up, because like if you're not bouncing going into the big gambling seasons, then I don't know what you got going for you. Right now it's all about the scandals in the in the prediction markets, but also it's all about the prediction markets and increased competition because of it. That teleprompter story is wild, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
But you also
really,
know
really
that
funny.
You know how tempting that would be. Like, it's the same thing as with these college guys that keep getting caught. It's like you have all of you can't go anywhere in a stadium, you can't go watch anything without they're talking about prediction markets this and betting that and gambling that, and then here's all of these and probably people all in your ear. You could do this, you could do this. There's no surprise. Whatever level of like corruption that you think and insider dealings and point shaving and throwing, whatever level you think, it's probably like 10%. Of what is actually going on, like that. Because when I saw like that, the baseball guy, give me a break. Like if a dude making millions of dollars a year in baseball put that on the line to make 10 grand here, 50 grand there,
pitch,
to just throw a wild pitch randomly, first pitch ball, and guys are dropping on, and he'll just throw a random first pitch when he's got great control, and he just throw it in the dirt, and that guy's risking millions of dollars in a career to get paid 50 grand to do that. And then he's roping other people in. Like, it's crazy.
It's like this whole Kawhi Leonard thing. Like, it's like,
oh, God.
You know, it's a couple extra $1 million there. And now we've got, look at it all. And,
bro.
Trying to violate some of the contracts and whatnot. There. Okay, well, while we were gone over to Sia there, what's up, Ozan? Here we go. We get that 125. So we miss it the first time. And, never fear. VWAP will come back here. And there it is right there. So another out there on VWAP as we're getting lighter and lighter on this position, obviously, as the day is getting a little long in the tooth. Although I still think there's opportunity for this to drop in. And we've seen it the last couple of days here on SpaceX into the close. We did have some negativity there. You got to be careful with the imbalances. We don't know where those are going to come from. But yeah, lock up. Like yesterday, the imbalance was downside. Like Sharif gave, and I don't know, let me see what it is here on Benzinga again, because Sharif gave us a report that I heard him say, I don't know where he got it from, that it was 20-something% short on SpaceX. I don't know. Right now, this is 1.8%. It's because this is the total amount of shares, like that's 6 billion. So
I see what he's.
It's most of those shares are locked up. Okay. So right now you can't. Yeah, it's the public short float right now, like all the retail that's been in it there. And I guess if you kind of add it up now, people are playing the game short. And I don't know where exactly they're all borrowing all those shares to get short from, but that's interesting. So SpaceX, I think that's rocket fuel for upside. I actually,
That's how Tesla works.
Yeah, so if you're going to start shorting SpaceX and all of a sudden, they catch a bid for some random reason, who knows what that reason is going to be these days. But if they do catch a bid, then yeah, man, there's going to be people caught short. And then, people will start questioning, oh, did I short the bottom or whatever? And then you could get a nice cover back there to the upside, especially when Elon Musk, he loves to, give the screws to, that kind of a trade. So we'll see if there's a little bit more talk about that on SpaceX.
Wait till he starts calling out the shorts.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Right?
He likes playing.
He's going to. And it's a great point about the available float short, because that's actually what matters oftentimes. Like the things, the traditional short percentage is dwarfed by, okay, well, what's the actual available float and what's the days to cover? Like how much volume does it do? Because if a stock, it might not have a gigantic short float, but if it's not really doing any volume, it could be days to be able to unwind a short position. And that's one thing that's gotten like hedgies, I guess, in hedge funds or whatever that go short into trouble, is when that days to cover is really high and then it starts going and it's like, well, how the hell do they get out? And then they get just run over and over again. Hey, cheese in a chair is back.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. Cheese in a
Oh,
chair.
here you go. He's understanding.
What up? The halt on SRAFF isn't preventing buyers on Fidelity from entering orders and having them accepted. Probably a glitch due to it being on the OTC.
But what is? Do we have? Where's Adara? Hi. SRAFF. I don't know. This is a pink sheet name. It's called Sandfire Resources. It's upside there. I don't.
It's OTC.
Yeah, it's OTC. So I don't know, but apparently it's halted. And the thing about it is, we may not have a quote on this because we don't generally trade things underneath 50,000 shares a day. So and there might not even be a story here. We got a super chat, so we could look this one up. But SRA, it's called Sandfire.
The last update here on their website for press releases was from July 2nd.
All I would say is if you're getting fills in something which is supposed to be halted, or you're getting anything that's a fill that you think is questionable, I always stay away from that.
I think he's just saying orders because
orders, but not getting fill.
Yeah, like I have e-signal right here. They will show all the orders, like all the fills here, and I don't have a fill on here since. Hey, what's up to anybody in the chat named Phil? I don't have one on here since 1220. So right now it's 240, and the halt level that we had on here as well was 1220. So I mean, whether or not you're getting filled, like Neil said there.
Yeah, that'd be a different story.
I don't think, but you had mentioned in your cheese in a chair there or whatever, that you do not just getting orders put in. You can put in orders on a halted stock.
We can put orders on halted stocks.
I can put a bid right now. It doesn't. I mean, if it doesn't fill,
doesn't
right?
Matter.
So, be careful with that if you are into it. Watch out for SRAFF. All right, looking forward here, we're gonna make another pick for our long-term accounts, and then or for the next 6 months, we all have this little. Okay, we've already done it. Okay, I
said, and then we'd have then everyone would have all picks in. Some people picked 5. I don't think everybody did.
Yes, Ozan.
Correct.
Ozan mentioned I bought this whole float by mistake, and yeah, maybe right there. I have a little bit of. I'll show you right here. This is in Boston right now. She has camp this week, and we decided not to go to Boston.
I didn't even notice that.
But her team is right now. Her travel team, the Canadian team, is in Boston right now at a tournament. We were at this tournament last year, and we lost in the finals. So I have it up right now. I'll update you. We know pretty much all the girls.
Is that website, the one that people do the baseball on?
No. This is someone just put this on YouTube. I don't even know. It's just someone has a camera.
There's that app for select teams that everyone streams all their games.
By the way, this other team is skating. I think our team is going to dummy this one, but we'll have to wait to see what's going on right there in Boston. So should be exciting to watch a little bit of it anyways as it goes on. But okay, so just quickly here, SpaceX now $1.80 in the money downside, and IBIT is basically trying to just stop me out. So we're probably wrong on that. It's too bad because Intel was a much better trade, and I should have just gone back to exactly what we had looked at before, and that was that 96 level. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but we could have shorted again. It was what we wrote down earlier. It came right back in again. Not only did I like the level 96, but also this 50-period moving average to the downside. So that would have been something to look at there. So we'll hope that at some point it works out for us there. I almost picked. We didn't get home. We were at volleyball last night, and we didn't get home till about 8:15 or 8:20. And Marissa and I went to Costco, and Costco was. I don't normally go around like that. We must have got to her thing started at 6, so we probably got there at 6:15 or so. It is rammed there yesterday on a Thursday night at Costco. Like it was packed there. So we were able to get. They had some pre-made burgers, but obviously you gotta cook them up. So I didn't feel like normally I just get the ground beef, throw some stuff in there, throw them on the grill, and that's that. The kids love the homemade burgers, so they had like homemade but store-made burgers. And man, those were tasty as hell there last night. They were the cheddar bacon version, and Costco has a bunch of things. Man, we always pick up some toilet paper. By the end of the day, like I looked, and we didn't even really have that much in the cart. It was $340, and everything we put in there I thought was like great value.
On there or
mushrooms. Well, tomatoes. They have a little chunk of tomatoes. We didn't get any mushrooms yesterday. Oh, on the burger? Yeah. Oh, I love mushrooms on burger. That would have been a good idea. Yeah, no, we didn't.
Bro,
Oh, I know. And
I'm hungry because the lunch was
fried onions and all that kind of stuff too. I love that on it. Well, that's a Swiss mushroom burger. You put the onions there, Swiss cheese.
So someone's asking in the chat about
anyways, I just like
Apple.
Costco down there. I think you could definitely buy some Costco. Apple, yeah. Okay.
Well, it's not a. Someone's asking about Apple and the spike. Is there something going on? there's no news or anything like that, but this has been kind of counter trend of the market. Like when the chip names are pulling back, you're seeing DRAM pull back, you're seeing chips pull back, you're seeing Apple race higher. Like there's been this inverse to the market thing, but also the thing to keep in mind for Apple is here. Boom. Just pause for effect there as to how strong. And the market is off the highs, and Apple has been doing a job. This is a consolidative day off of the top. It didn't actually break the low under 330. It didn't break the high over 335. So yeah, inside day, but in an upward trend. So pretty good look there for Apple. But there is nothing. It was just that spike up. Like, well, why is it going up? Because the market there's no news or anything. It just seems like it's the flight to safety, like Apple has been, and in the tech space recently, that's all it's been about for Apple. Is I think people are looking at it. Traders, investors are sort of looking at them and saying, hey, if the AI trade falls apart, is there even a Mag 7 name that you're going to like more than Apple? Because they're the ones that are not spending. So I think that does bode well for them. QBTS is stalling halfway to VWAP here. So all-day trend break, VWAP is the target. But because it's bounced off of the halfway point, I probably move the stop into break even. I haven't done so I should probably do that. If it breaks this level, it's kind of close to break even. It's not exactly, but that consolidation at the entry point will now be the out. So instead of kind of stopping out here, I'm stopping out there. This trend line was more the 15-minute than anything else. And just one last thing, because obviously Apple was not news, but the reason we're talking about like the context of that Apple bouncing off VWAP and going higher was the market pulling back in. Q's really respected VWAP. The one time it pulled back into VWAP, consolidated and hard bounce. That's a pretty good space to look for there to be some support. And for DRAM, I'm not even thinking VWAP. I'm looking straight in the face of where one of the shorts stopped out, which was at 53. So like this was a spot where it took the next leg to the upside. So this reversion, I'm looking for that. Not VWAP, but 53, because it's been such a bit of a bounce. But that's from an earlier position, for sure. So I don't know if we're doing our... Whatever, I'll just give mine. I said it this morning.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, I gotta figure out.
No, I said it this morning, and whether or not, I always like to drop the hint. Like yesterday, like I was already talking about Robinhood, then I said, by the way, the fourth pick is gonna be Robinhood. The fifth pick is GE. And there's a general theme to some of the picks that I'm making, because I've been saying the last little bit, it's a heck of a lot easier to buy a dip in an upward trending stock than it is to try to pick the bottom. So GE, they do have they've got a pretty decent size, GE Aerospace here. They've got a pretty decent backlog for the next, couple $100 billion for the next year and a half, which is good for them. They do trade pretty expensively, so you're not getting them on the cheap. And I did hint that my pick was gonna be something defense related. But it is picking up. I like the 50 period, the pullback into prior high. If you go out to the higher time frame, which we're still looking at DraftKings, shout out to Michael Burry, who apparently likes DraftKings. I didn't know he was in this one. I feel like we always report stuff he's in, right?
Yeah.
So usually I'm like, oh yeah, but I don't remember that one for some reason. I could just be getting old. But look at the weekly chart.
I don't remember DraftKings either.
At all. I really don't remember him being in.
I wonder what the reason
like the
is. Do
weekly
we know
too.
that, Adara? Why is this guy in DraftKings?
It doesn't, yeah, I'm curious.
I haven't seen any of it. His stuff is also like heavily behind a paywall, and it's not even there are some paywalls that you can kind of get behind. Substack is not one of them. I've tried like multiple times. So we don't really know why he's in DraftKings, but we know he's kind of been steering away from traditional tech. So this isn't like super surprising to me. Yeah, as we know, he was in at one point in GME as well. I'm not sure if he still is. So that he kind of likes those alt plays.
I hear he makes that Substack. He's making bank. At least that's what I saw someone mention on X. That like he makes just
I mean that's
straight. No, but like there's
all these traders.
But there's some that
money not trading.
But there's some that make money, but he's apparently on a different.
Well, he has the name, right?
Yeah, because I think it's the name and reputation thing. It's just like it's now a bigger deal than almost anything else he does. Let's go up to SIA. Let's get the small cap recap. Maybe V's making some moves.
Maybe.
Probably not.
I just made a joke, Neil, that you said the right name. I'm so happy. Let's take a look at the IWM right now. It's currently down 0.60% on the day. We're going to take a look at a couple individual tickers. Some I'm just going to mention what they're up and down, and then two of them I have news on for you. So ENHA, Enhanced Group, currently up 23.4% on the day. You have PHOE, that's Phoenix Asia Holdings, that's up 23% on the day. You have PESI, Permafix Environmental Services, up 12.5% almost on the day. And finally, we have FEIM. That's Frequency Electronics, up 14.5%. This company reported its fiscal 2026 revenue of $63.23 million, compared with a revenue of $69.81 million and net income of $23.69 million in a year ago quarter. QMLS, finally, Cumulus AI. So this company has announced that it's officially been approved as an NVIDIA cloud partner. That's the NCP within the NVIDIA Partner Network.
Thank you very much there, Sia. And remember we were just talking about VWAP on the Qs?
Oh, yeah,
it didn't get there. It got really close, but you're already getting a bounce. It looks like it looks like it's even trying to break that little downward trend that was on. So arbitrary lines, I can say all I want. I'm going to take another leg out here, maybe reassess. So I'm going to take another leg out in the consolidation, let it drift, do whatever it does. If we break the low at 16.9, I might just tighten up the trail and see how far it does, in fact, go. At least this afternoon, we're not getting any noise out of oil or anything. It is still trending to the upside, but kind of pulling back and all quiet here for USO. Haven't really heard anything out of the president that's at a crazy.
I'm not hearing anything at all out of my.
Well, that's a fair point. I haven't heard any news in a while, but it's a Friday afternoon, so we might be pretty light when it comes to news, which is perfectly fine. I think that'll be all right.
Yeah, might not be much going on. There, Tesla's trying to go. Oh, yeah, so by the way, like slap a fail right there. I mean, we broke higher. It's a good thing we didn't wait, for, a little bit more of a trade there. Stopping out there, 35 break out. So that's what we got. We got 35s, 36s and change there on that one. So we'll have to wait now. I mean, IBIT, we could have gone the other way on it. And the only thing that I'm looking at now is, and again, hindsight, but IBIT's up on the day while NASDAQ is down on the day. So, to play that short, obviously a little risky there, but risk is fine. I am down for taking a little bit of risk, that's for sure. But anyways, out of that trade. All right, so, we see SpaceX, what that's doing. We're just sitting in it right now. It's not doing too much, man. We have that 5% left of it. So if it tanks, good, or maybe between 5 and 10% left on that. But Tesla's not having a great day either. And it's just right here bouncing. Not that SpaceX is having a horrible day. I actually thought it could have been a lot lower right now than 125. But right into there, 381. It's just not much going on, like I said, onto a Friday afternoon. But Tesla has been coming back in there. We know not to talk about this as a car company, really, because their last quarter that they reported those deliveries was a record Q2 deliveries. And that started a collapse, basically, in the stock from that 450 or so area. I don't remember the exact day that those deliveries were, but I feel like it was right into here. Yeah, do you remember what it was?
July 2nd, 2026. That was the Thursday.
Oh, okay, so it's right here. Yeah, so, that, and yeah, as we were saying, I thought it would coming off 450, so that's right. So, right into here, 450, like you were kind of cruising with Tesla, and then they dropped good delivery numbers, and we made a low there of 360, 370 before popping back up. Obviously, June, came and went, with June 12th being SpaceX, and then Tesla all the way back up to 430. I don't know if that wick was real, but into 430, 420 there, and then since then it's just been a nice little downside push there for Tesla. So I do kind of like the short look on Tesla, but right now I think you got to wait for the 200 period, which would be right there. The SG RAF still halted there. People want to talk about Lucid in the chat. Okay, so we could do that. And I just want to say, like, everybody
that's $10 by now.
Yeah, I mean, if they reverse split it a couple times, maybe we'll get to $17. Thank you to everybody that's here, man. I mean, this is where we're getting those. Like, you're gonna see here Lucid from Cheese, Lucid here from Paz. Like, these are the kind of things. And there's Tesla from Luis there. So like, he's like, come on Tesla, come on Tesla. So there's lots of stuff that we look at here, and if you could put it in, and get our attention, man. That's kind of like what we're looking at is the chats. We want to say thank you to everybody. And, we run like this last hour or whatever, not like a podcast, but more just let's talk to you guys and see if we can get it going. And I always thought, I mean, Brendan's right there. I don't know if we can get this approved or not, but I would love a call-in show, like where we actually let some of you guys, call in, take your questions. Yeah, or zooming in. Yeah, I don't know. Zoom is a little bit more of a risk.
Well, okay, it's a
there, but yeah, just like some kind of a audio call on Zoom or whatever, and you can ask us questions. We could talk about like where are you from, what you up to type of thing. I always thought that I would be.
We could do a contest for somebody. We could do a contest for somebody to come on video. And
Not even a contest, man. Just like that would be hilarious. It's just like every Friday we did from 3 to 4. Like a live call-in show.
I'm down with
I don't know, it doesn't matter.
I think it's fun.
Burry also invests in Flutter.
Okay, so he's just all in on the space, basically.
And it kind of makes sense, like with Polymarket eventually. I think, we talk about some future IPOs, maybe Kalshi or Polymarket or something like that. We do have ICE is in Continental Exchange, invested a few $1 billion into Polymarket. And there's been other companies that have invested some private equity money there into, those names. And obviously Robinhood, some of these other public names like IBKR, and now you're talking about Flutter and DraftKings and all that, also involved in that gambling side of things. I mean, gambling is like a drug. So if you're able to, get involved in that, I mean, it's probably a business that hangs around for just a minute. So yeah, man, that's what we're doing here. Watching out for Lucid. What
Unbelievable.
What a comeback for this name. I mean, and the funny thing about the Lucid story is there was a time that we talked about Lucid as when that story came out. It was an old story, and for some reason it got republished and brought to market that day around noon or whatever it was, and the thing absolutely collapsed to where everybody was thinking we halted down here somewhere, and then it just bounced right back up like crazy, and it's been now 3 or 4 days where it's just been upside for Lucid. I would say, look, nothing's changed for them, I would imagine. So there it is. Is it 1-0 good guys? No, it's not. Yeah, it's 0-0 still. So anyways, as we go on, I think Lucid's a short. I'm sorry if you guys are taking this long, but the companies know better today than it was in the past. I mean, you got to do your work. Maybe they did secure some financing. I'm not, if they do go,
that would have been announced if they had.
If they do go private, like what would the premium look like? So there is going to be a risk to that. Maybe you play it with options so you're not stuck holding the bag on shares or something like that. But I would say, Lucid here seems a little overdone to the upside. The reason why they were looking for financing is because they don't got no money. And we already talked about how expensive those cars are. No one's making money making EVs right here. And the Saudis, I think did they pull you guys, anybody into golf here? I think Liv got pulled. Like, I don't even know if Liv is still going on. I see here all those guys have come back.
Oh, I'm the wrong person.
Bryson DeChambeau.
I was asking you guys whether that was
like all these guys, I just saw them. They're all playing in some of the majors and everything now in the PGA. So I'm not even sure that's a thing.
I just think someone's got screwed in Liv. So I think just someone got trapped in the short. Like to me, some people are getting squoze because after that story hit, there was maybe not trapped at the absolute bottom. In here, like at 250 and 3, but I think someone could be trapped in like underneath $5 because there was that consolidation in the afternoon between 4 and 5. Like I just feel like there's some people that are getting squeezed out of this that are trying to hold on for dear life.
You can't. I don't know. I guess I could put this. How can I turn this? No, this is just a gift card. So this is actually really sweet. So Gia is that's my daughter. She's 11. She's at an all-day hockey camp, and some girl came from Nunavut, which is way, way up north. There's not as much support up there for hockey and all that kind of stuff. So they actually traveled into Toronto, and she doesn't speak English very well. She speaks whichever language, the Aboriginal language they speak up there. I don't know what it is, so I'm not going to speak on that. But the card that she got, as I turn my head this way. This is all that kind of language, and Gia was actually being really. And Marissa was telling me the story yesterday, where she was having a hard time talking with some of the other girls, and Gia was just with her at all the drills, and now I'm starting to get emotional, just became really great friends with her, and looks like a $30, which is amazing, Starbucks gift card. Oh. So anyways, just makes me proud as a dad that that's kind of stuff that goes on there. So all right, that's that. But yeah, anyways, that was really sweet. So thank you, Marissa, for showing me that. Marissa's probably watching, so I'm gonna tell her thanks for showing that. So anyways, that was really nice. And I don't know, I feel like $30 is nice, but I wish it was only like $10. I don't want them that family spending all that money. But anyways, that was really That's really sweet. So now I don't have to pay for all of her drinks anymore, which is nice. She can pay for her own.
Sorry, they were just digging it up.
Yeah.
See, you can't put that game in front of me.
I can put it on
Did
YouTube.
you see them just battle out of the corner? And anyways, it's fine. G's game was on there, but with the cameras right in the corner, and there was just a battle for the puck in the corner.
Yeah. It's pretty
D just was able to basically power forward, box out, kick it out, nice swing pass out, and start the break. Whatever, it's Friday. The market's not moving that
bad
much.
news, though. The other team scored on that.
I don't know which team's which.
Boo. What were the team with it? We're in all Team Canada stuff.
I can't. Sorry, it's on a weird angle. Oh, okay, my bad. But it was an impressive play. I didn't realize that was against G's team.
You can see that one team is blue.
It was
Maybe
a
I
nice.
can put it up on the big. I just don't know what YouTube. It's live. I don't know if we can get.
My bad, but it was a nice.
I don't want
play.
to show anything that we maybe get it at. Anyways, it's now Power Hour as we go on with that. But here's what Lucid looks like right now. I don't necessarily think it's a short today, but for those of you guys and girls, anybody that's in this thing, just be careful with it. It could definitely come right back in. I mean, this is a stock that looks like this on the daily. Lucid. So, just be careful with it right here as we're trying to break maybe lower on LCID. Okay, hey, news. I'm going to guess right now something to do with Iran. So let's go over to Dara and find out.
We're hearing from Iran to kick off Power Hour. General Rezai of Iran saying, quote, if the attacks by the U.S. continue for the next 2 or 3 days, we will enter a full-scale offensive phase. So unfortunately, it sounds like we could be in a full new set of enhanced tensions between the U.S. and Iran by the time we get back here on Monday. In the meantime, Sector Watch, we'll see ya.
That is not definitely something that we want to hear, but it is sad. Energy is holding that rally from earlier in the day. It's all in the green, strong sector for today. But let's take a look. So SPY is currently down, inching closer to 8% right now. We have electric tech, NVDA down 2% on the day, with Apple, AVGO trading flat with names like RTX and Qualcomm as well. MU up 2%. You have GE up 1%. Dell 2.5% on the upside, with Cisco up 2.5% as well. INTC and AMD continuing to slide a little bit over here. You have tech services, Google down 2.5%, Meta down very close to 3%, Microsoft is down 1.5% on the day, with Oracle and PANW that's up 1.6% and 1% respectively, with Palantir, Netflix falling on the day, and IBM down 3.3% as well. CRWD is trading flat. Finance, you have a bit of a bearish and a mixed sentiment over here, I would say. BRKB, JPM have continued the flatness from earlier in the day, with Visa down close to 2% and MasterCard down 1.6% at the moment. Bank of America, MS and GS and WFCAXP all continuing to slide towards the downside. You have Citi down very close to the 2% mark here. And I just want to check Robinhood down 4.5% on the day. You have retail trade. We have Amazon here down, inching close to 8%. Walmart trading flat, with Costco and Home Depot also sliding into the red. Costco down close to 8% and Home Depot, down 2.3% here. Producer manufacturing and TJX flat at the moment. Producer manufacturing, you have AMAT down 5% on the day. CAT down up 0.71% and LRCX down close to 3% on the day, with GEV up 1.5%. Consumer non-durables, you have Coca-Cola continuing that rally up. Sliding down into the red. It's down 4.2% on the day. PM trading closer to the 1% mark to the upside. We have PEP down almost 2% and PG down 1.2%. Health tech, you have a bit of a good sentiment with Lilly and J&J, ABBV here. Rest of the board here looking a little bit like it's lagging behind, with names like ISRG down a whopping 13% on the day, and A that's down 3% on the day as well, and ABT that's up 1% here as well. Consumer services, I'm seeing a lot of bearish sentiments over here, with McDonald's down 2%, Disney down over 2%, and you also have in consumer services RCL down more than 2% as well, with BKNG and Starbucks continuing to slide all below the 2% mark. Process industries and industrial sectors and utilities continue to remain a bit of a mixed sentiment throughout the day, with transportation, Uber making a little bit of a reversal, but it's still down 1.5%. Health services, you have UNH holding a bit of a steady momentum here after its earnings yesterday, up 1.6% on the day, with HUM up 2.7% and CNC up a bit close to 3.5%. Like I said, energy minerals looks like it's one of the strongest sectors of the day. Everything seems in the green. We're hearing a lot of news and remarks come in about Iran as well. And I'm going to send it to the guys. Thank you.
Please come back really quickly here. Like, I just got stopped out of SpaceX and I just punched long. Like, there's more volume here now than I've seen all day on SpaceX. Yes, let's go. We're now long SpaceX. Let's do this right here to the upside. Let's go SpaceX. Like, I mean, this could just be, oh God, now I'm getting goosebumps again here. This could just be a, late day rally, but I don't know. It's back and forth. It might not be anything. Let's go to Adara.
I can't confirm yet, but as we get this pop in SpaceX, a couple seconds before, Elon Musk shared the following post here on X, quote, "I said SpaceX will be worth more than Earth if we achieve our goals." Obviously true. Again, Elon Musk on social media saying that SpaceX will be worth more than Earth, trading to the upside. Also seeing here that the Wall Street Journal is reporting that SpaceX is in talks to provide Pentagon billions of dollars of AI cloud computing capacity. That makes more sense here. But again, timing kind of weird. Again, SpaceX reportedly in talks to provide the Pentagon with billions of dollars of AI cloud computing capacity. Back to you.
Yeah, come back over here. Yeah, right now, so that's the story, man. It has nothing, I mean, Elon Musk saying it's going to be worth more than Earth. How much is Earth worth, first of all? I think it's unlimited value, right? Without Earth, we're not here. So, but anyways, we just took it out at 130 there. We'll hold a little bit to see if there is some sort of news to this, but it's the Pentagon working with SpaceX for their computing power. Like, that's really what the story is. And we have to go to Sia, but I just wanted to come back here, let you guys, we're not anymore, okay. I just want to say, like, it's just one of these plays. So we'll wait if there's more details on this. I don't ever, we'll go to Derek a second. I just want to say, like, you don't ever punch your whole day or go crazy on these kind of news stories. We've done it before where even on Meta, it spikes up and comes right back in again. So just watch out for it. SpaceX now moving on the largest volume candle of the day. You got more for us, Adara?
Yeah, so it's not just SpaceX, guys. That was really, I think, the thing to note here. So the first headline was, of course, that you've got the Defense Department and the Pentagon here talking to SpaceX to try to secure this compute. Apparently, they're also, though, talking to other companies like Amazon. Amazon is doing nothing on this, but again, SPCX here to the upside in talks reportedly to provide computing power for the Pentagon. Back to you.
So I think I'm just going to, like we said, we did, we traded it out. I mean, 130 was a wall for us. I mean, we had actually written down here 130 as a short earlier today, but I'm not standing in front of the story. So we'll just take that out. And now it came right back into that 127 area where we had looked short before, but now we don't have to worry too much about it. 126.50 right there. So I would say, if you fail back in, we can actually hold this back to 125. I mean, whatever happens here. But there goes SpaceX as Joe sits back down here, potentially selling compute power now, SpaceX, to the Pentagon, Joe. So we'll see what winds up happening. Big volume spike. I ran that to the upside there. We got a little bit out, but now it's falling back in. So I'm comfortable with the amount of shares we have. It's fine. It's not a huge position, but I'm going to give it back to 125. And look, man, if that story is not true, we'll get hit and it'll come all the way back in. But let's let it build some momentum here as traders run back to their desks for this SpaceX trade right there. And I don't know if people are actually.
I'm more curious as to a full list of every company that's in the.
Well, but it has to be all the normal ones, like she said. Amazon has to be anybody with power, right? So
Amazon,
Google,
Alphabet,
Microsoft. I mean, I'm sure they could get some Azure love back in there as well. So I think that there is some room to grow for all of these names.
Oracle.
Oracle, not really Oracle for compute power, but we can wait to see what happens with Oracle. Oracle is actually, it was funny because this morning,
it was a beast.
This is the other thing, like, when it was happening this morning and and we saw this move here in Oracle and we were like, wow, man, everything is like, heading to the downside. What is strong? Well, there's Oracle, but look at this. This is the trade right here. It's this pullback right there into VWAP. that's way too big of a circle. But right into here, into VWAP is what's good, right? That's sort of what you wanted to do. Let me see if I can draw another one. It was right into here, into VWAP. That's the level that you're looking to buy into. And then you can see there on the retracement, whoopsies, get off of this ellipse. The retracement back there to the upside all day. Now falling down now as the NASDAQ's falling. Especially Intel's coming back in quite nicely here as well. The only trade that we put on, there's Intel 95. Damn, that 96 was too good. We tried IBIT, which is now back. We got stopped out at 36 there, but IBIT was the only short really that we put on here into the close. And now we got to deal with this as looks like SpaceX. Yeah, so that story was fine. Good one. You know, we made a little bit of money there, but net on this idea, we'll lose. If this takes down 125, we'll lose on it because that's a 128 long. We punched long, got them out at 130. That's $2. Punched more, not as much more, at 129 breaking. So that was that right there. Now we have to deal with it as we're out of the money now, $2. So yeah, I think it's fine. We're going to wait, maybe get another bid here and then wait to see if it drops even lower through 125. So, that's kind of the look here for me on SpaceX into the afternoon, on a quiet afternoon that all of a sudden got a little spicy with SPCX.
Yeah, just an update. I cannot see a full list of companies. The only companies I've seen named from anybody here related to this article, Amazon and SpaceX, and most people are not caring about the Amazon thing at all.
I think we're just assuming the bigger. I was just curious if there was any.
Who released that story? Like
it's who would be left out.
It's who?
It's Wall Street Journal, so it's behind a paywall at Wall Street Journal. I was just curious if they listed a bunch of big big boys and left somebody out. Oh. Like that's what I was like. Okay,
well, like they're considering everybody but Google. Or
it's like, well, what if they listed all the companies and then didn't list, say, Alphabet or didn't list
so
Microsoft?
Short Alphabet, basically.
No, but that's because that's the only other angle. I just got trailed out of DRAM, I guess. So I
don't know where Ladder Guy is. Where did Ladder Guy go?
It just broke 53.6, like this flat bottom, and the second it did, I'm like, okay, that's the move, and I'm just going to slap the trail, and it trailed me out almost instantaneously, so it'll bounce almost immediately. I don't know what's happening with Micron. Obviously, I mean, these don't have to move the same. Micron's the same chart, so it doesn't really make a difference, but we're out of that one. The QBTS still doing the same thing. The Q's still doing the same thing, although trying to come into VWAP here. It would be interesting to see if VWAP holds on SpaceX too at 125, but I feel like that's going to end up being a fugazi. Like that story, my guess is, the algos just sort of pick that up and see the headline, and then they lift the offer because that's where it's going. And then once they start making a market again, it comes back in when everyone disseminates it. Hey, it's not a guarantee for them. What's weird is that nothing else reacted even a little bit. That tells you, at least what that tells me, is when we're just talking about the short on SpaceX. Yeah, if that's the way that the stock is reacting, there's definitely a lot of people holding and betting short on this on a constant basis for big money, because that screams to me that someone just got stopped out. And we just started covering a bunch.
Well, hey, we just talked about it. That was that story about
that's what I'm saying. I think that reaction where nothing else even budged and how violent it was, market makers lift the offer, someone got liquidated, and that's the kind of action you get. With human market makers, it was always a different story. And that's one of the reasons why gonna hark it. Real Trading by Daniel Schuffer. You can pick it up. They got a deal on this bad boy. You can pick it up for $1 online.
99 cents.
Oh, 99 cents? My bad. Did I say $1?
You did.
My bad.
I don't want to mislead anybody.
I don't want to mislead anybody.
But yeah, that is a hell of a wick there.
You save a penny here?
In the chat. Yeah, save a penny here.
You save a penny there?
Yep. Eventually, it adds up to 2 pennies. I mean, it's huge. So, anyways, go to the dollar store. Marissa was at the dollar store today picking stuff up for camp next week. All right, so 125.50 right now. Looks like we are going to get bled out of this trade potentially, as there's no more bid coming. And once the story is over, it's over. Like it would. I mean, you would have thought it could have kept going through 130. I did, or else I would have got out of it all. So we'll average it back somewhere around here and then wait to see what happens to the upside now for SPCX. But I just put stop in 125 break. It's pretty simple. If it breaks it, I mean, we've been holding it all afternoon without any news. So we can actually maybe we could go to 124. We can go to 124. Let me change that. Let's go to 124.75, because that way if it does break, we'll give it a little bit more room Just make sure we put the right price. So we'll give it $1 from here on SpaceX. So it'll be a decent hit that we don't necessarily want to take, but we got to do it. So we went into it, and that's that FOMO, right? You don't need to. We're so structured all day, and then to go in here and just lose it all on SpaceX doesn't seem to be very, very right. So we're not going to do that, and we're going to wait for a breakdown into this area. And if that does happen, it's so be it. We'll take another bid on VWAP, and I think we're ready to go back over to the desk.
I think so.
I'm going to go Adara.
So this is interesting here. This is not moving at all, but I want to address it because I'm seeing some people talk about it online, and I think it's an interesting point. So SMCI could also be in watch here with this SpaceX story. So just to backtrack, Wall Street Journal reporting, of course, as we know, SpaceX in talks to provide the Pentagon with billions of dollars worth of AI cloud computing capacity. Now, SpaceX and SMCI have partnered together in this way before. Apparently, SMCI actually built the liquid cooling infrastructure for the SpaceX Colossus AI supercomputer. They do have a history. SMCI also hinted out on social media, though it's never, ever been confirmed, that they were going to be part of the Tariff Elon Musk project as well. So either way here, I mean, SMCI as a partner of SpaceX, both literally and also in SMCI's dreams, it's something to maybe keep an eye on going forward with this catalyst in mind. Back to you.
Yeah, I looked to see if that caught a spike. It didn't,
It did
but
not.
I mean, if you're trying to pick something up at a depressed price, SMCI would be your huckleberry. It'd be nice if there was any reaction. If they had bought that one up, I think there'd be might be more to it. But this is starting to get really interesting. Well, it's not adjusted. Of course, it's not split adjusted, that chart. Let me just go, and we'll pull it up on eSignal. That's fine. We go to the daily chart here on SMCI. So it's right around $20 is that low. 1948 technically, but you're starting to get into the absolute bottom from earlier in the year. That's a name. This is a name where maybe you're looking for some kind of a reversal play at 20. Not that story really means anything for looking for the bottom on SMCI, but it could give it more juice. The balances already have some interesting, there's a bunch of stuff over 1 million shares, and it's only 315. So just so you know, this is obviously Virgin Galactic, SPCE, with the early look imbalance of 3.4 million, which is not a heck of a lot because Virgin Galactic is a really cheap stock. None of these are any big names. They're all like some small ones here. Kenvue seems to always be there. And there's a penny stock. It's getting deleted from the exchange. That's Goro. So nothing stands out like crazy in terms of big size. I mean, Kenvue, that's pretty big. Even for Kenvue, we've seen it on the locator a million times, but 8 million shares into 11 on the day in volume, this could be a little bit spicy. As we get closer to 330, I might take a shot. It's way too early to just say, hey, well, it's a buy and balance early. Go for the breakout. You've got 35 minutes, not even 25, over a half an hour till the imbalances come out. So it's a bit early to try to take that break. I'm hoping it does nothing, and then this stays 8 million, and then you can grab it a little bit later. What did my locator do?
SpaceX just broke below, so you might have just heard me say whoops. So there goes SpaceX right there. So we do have to slap a fail. So there it is. We didn't have any losing trades, and now we got 2 of them. iBit that we put on, and then SpaceX. So, kind of just got caught up, obviously, a little bit in the moment there, trying to buy that rip, and was able to get some out. So that was pretty good for about $1.50, and then a decent amount there. But then we got caught long, and our average price was $127.40. So we got dumped out there, and we actually got the price. We got actually no slippage. We got $124.72. So 3 cents of slippage off that last and latest fill. So all good on that front, but definitely downside momentum right now in SpaceX. And I was actually going to look, and I know we have that super chat. I'm going to check it out in a second. SK Hynix also trying to lose the bid. So is the whole market, by the way.
Market just lost
dramatically losing a bid right now. I mean, this is a 1 minute chart. In the last 20 minutes, you might have 2 or 3 up candles there. So it's a nice downside play here for SK Hynix, of course, and for the market as we're breaking underneath all of them levels. Will we hold into the close is the question. I don't know, traders coming back to their desks, maybe not. But yeah, SK Hynix definitely breaking below. I think we can go short against 155, but needs to break that first.
It never actually took out that low. Remember we were talking about SK Hynix in 151, I want to say, was the low from the issue. So there's still a chance that does go. We had the order set up that it was going to go. Easy peasy. Shout out to Easy Peasy with the 5K day short than long SNDK.
What 5K day? Jeez,
That's
nice.
why it's $10 super chat.
Ooh-wee. Oh, there you go. You used my indicators, and I'm the one losing money over here.
On SMDK.
Thank you. My indicators with Claude, Fable, and Sean Style.
No automation, just indicators.
Damn you, easy peasy. I mean, no, not damn you. I mean, that's great. Congratulations on that. But you know, you need to cut a brother in over here. Like, you know, what is going on with that?
I want to see
right there, using the Sean indicators. So I don't even know what those are, but I'm glad that you built it with Fable. So that's a good one there. So congratulations, Mr. Peasy of Easy Street. Right there, we like to say thank you for that. And he donates. He's been doing that. I mean, talk about a man of his word. Yeah, I've been doing that basically since we started. Since I don't know, 6 months. I don't know, since we first saw.
It's at least for this year.
Yeah, since we've seen you in the chat.
I want to say for the entirety of this year, possibly before that. Possibly. I don't remember exactly, but I'd be curious.
I think it's more recent than that.
Are you sure? Okay. Well, you know what? No, I'm never asking it.
I'm gonna go with 6 to 8 months.
I'm not asking a Tariff. She's like that's. Yeah. I immediately take back the "Are you sure?" to it.
I could be getting it confused with that viewer that wanted to like make a frequency pull over certain things we do. So I could be wrong, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, Dara has the best memory, so I'm not even gonna. It's not perfect, but it's definitely very good.
So I could see CoreWeave, Nebius. I mean, you talked about some names that potentially weren't mentioned here. You're talking about compute power. I mean, it's literally their business there. So CoreWeave and Nebius looking for all of those customers, right? Can you find those custies or what? Because you're starting to break back down below. And CoreWeave, we can look at Nebius's chart. I know they have much more of a foothold there in Europe, but yeah, it's CoreWeave right now. I don't know if it's not really getting hit on that story, but this could be something that eventually gets hit. NBIS right here as well, possible. Yeah, nothing going on here, but look at the move though on this name, right? Like this is another one, 300 back down to 160 again. Like there's not a whole heck of a lot going on with Nebius and CoreWeave right now. I mean, it's just downside. At least Nebius has their 200 period moving average, which has been a pretty decent hold right there of the 200 period. So, you know, looking to get longer, this could be a next week kind of a trade, especially if that CapEx slows down. Watch out right into here for Nebius coming back into 144. So deals with Microsoft and whatnot, NBIS. So watch out now for Nebius. All right, we can go back over to the desk now with Sia, I believe, with an update.
Yes, it is Sia. Let's take a look at the money markets right now, Sean. We're going to take a look at the Canadian dollar right now. So it's strengthened to a 1-month high against the USD here. Oil prices, you do know it, have jumped, and also recent softer than expected U.S. inflation data has cooled expectations for the Fed to interest rate hikes. So regarding that sentiment, we have the Canadian dollar strengthening to a 1-month high, trading 0.2% higher than the US dollar at $1.40 here per US dollar, or 71.35 cents US cents, after touching its strongest intraday level since June 17th at 1.4006 to be precise. So for the week, the Canadian dollar up 1% against, which is its biggest weekly gain since April. And let's also take a look at the dollar before sending it back to the guys around the 100.7 region right now, steadying on the day, I would say, but also on track for a weekly decline. It's currently, however, up 0.06% on the day.
So Alan, thank you, Sia. But Alan, if you're asking, before we get to the super chats, Alan just asked the chat what's going on with SpaceX. There was a headline.
Don't ask me.
Effectively saying, you know, government contract for compute with the Department of Defense, and there was a Wall Street Journal article, and it was multiple companies that were in the bidding for it. So the algos just saw that and it ripped to the upside, and then it now starting to come back in as it digested that it's, hey, it's not just SpaceX, it's probably going to be, it could be Amazon was also named in there, so they're probably going to battle it out with the usuals. We do have another super chat from Easy Peasy. I learned to go big and reverse on the same stock from you. Easy peasy. Easy peasy, you mentioned.
The only problem is, like, I'm always losing and then reversing. So yeah, don't go too big, too hard, too fast over there, easy peasy. But hey, man, I appreciate it. I'm glad you made 10 grand on the back, or what, 5 grand on the back of that today. And we're all having some fun here. So thank you, Easy Peasy, for that one. And here we go. Mr. Cheese in a chair here. This is what I was saying, like, about it almost seems kind of desperate, like we're worth more than Earth. Like what exactly does that mean right there? But there it is.
Man, that's some crap that gets said in a movie. Like,
you know what it gives me? It
Moon
gives
cheese?
me George Kurtz, CrowdStrike CEO, saying, hey, I asked Claude if they could replace our business, and they said no, which, like, George Kurtz, who does a lot of weird things I don't agree with, that takes the cake.
Yeah, that's a strange one there.
I was chuckling because of the rest of this. It's like me saying that all the free Moon cheese is worth more than all the cheese in the world. Both companies top Forbes in 2345, but until then, question mark?
Yeah, I mean, I did hear that space cheese is very tasty.
Yes.
So, you know, if you're into the space cheese business, I think you're
combined Tesla SpaceX.
You're probably in the right spot for space cheese, but yeah, very, very interesting there. Thank you for that one. Cheese in a chair coming through again, but yeah. So we'll get ready here with SpaceX. Just trying to figure itself out. Now it's underneath 124 and it's lost its way a little bit here. Like I said, we had stopped out. We're going to see if we can go short now, maybe into the low of the day again. We already have the low take right there at 122. That would be a nice fill if that were to come through. So would 123 flat. So let's wait to see what happens here with SpaceX. Short now 123.80, just 30 cents in the, well, I guess 30 cents in the money roughly, and now 30 cents in the money. So we'll have to give this a little bit longer. I just took a bid at 45 for 5%. I'm also bidding 123, right where we got that last fill there. So if we can get that, that would be nice. So right now, just waiting for SpaceX to figure itself out. But yeah, downside for now.
Yeah, I can't get over it. Like it's almost like it does seem a little bit desperate to try to tweet the stock to the upside.
I just heard that Trump is holding Canada responsible for the forest fires. So,
I mean, what? Not
great.
Surprised. No, there's a lot of American officials that are going to say that. But
we
hey,
have
this
refused proper forest management.
This has been happening for years.
Oh man, this guy knows
nothing new.
Trump knows everything about Canadian forest business, and it's just like he's apparently Derek, go find it. It's a True Social post right there. Yeah, from True Social by Donald Trump. Wants to now include forest fires into the tariff discussion. So shout out there. It is Smokey the Bear's fault. You are right there, XLD.
Nobody disparaged Smokey the Bear ever.
I know. Someone in the chat there is
I don't want to hear any of that.
Blaming a Smokey. But yeah, definitely our fault on that one. And, you know, the Canadian people and our economy should be punished for ever going Mother Nature and forest fires right there. So my bad on that one. Adara, please tell me it's not true.
It is, and I'm going to read through it because I just checked and there's nothing like super inappropriate here. I guess it's not really market related, but it's tariff related, so let's get into it. We are holding Canada responsible for the fact that they are not properly maintaining their capital F forests and capital B brush therein, and the United States is being unnecessarily invaded by filthy, polluted, and unhealthy hair, the quality of which is dangerous and totally unacceptable. Next sentence. I will call the Prime Minister during the day, so it's pretty specific here, to find out what they're going to do about it. The cost is incalculable, exclamation point. Canada has refused to engage in basic capital F forest, capital M management, and capital D debris, capital R removal, knowing that such refusal will lead to exactly this result. This is capital W willful, capital N negligence, and becoming a yearly occurrence, costing the United States, capital B billions of capital D dollars, which cost of this pollution must of necessity be added to the all caps tariffs Canada is currently paying. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President, all caps, Donald J. Trump. And that's it, guys. That's all I have.
Was there any capitalization of any letters in there? But no, it's, yeah, so it is real. And yeah, look, we kind of joked about it earlier today on the morning show that something like that was probably going to happen. So for me, it's no surprise. And look, I kind of, at some point, like, you know, and we were saying this earlier, there's forest fires on both sides of the border, obviously.
Yes.
And I do understand, like, you know, that obviously it sucks because there are people out there with, you know, asthma or different, you know, breathing related problems. And then honestly, I was going to use a bad word, but the stuff that's in the air is not great.
The can of worms that it would open up if you start talking about that, because then you'd have to start talking about emissions too. I'm just from like the old like economics brain starts going out there and like the precedent that would get set, that would be an absolute and utter mess if the world ever went down that road. Just an absolute mess, because there's too many private companies that would be, it would be utter nonsense. Just one quick thing. I mean, you continue to move my trailing stop on this sucker, but we got a super chat here from Chain reactor. Word on the street is that shareholders are dumping stock in SpaceX to drop the price, I think you mean, because of the new deal with LAES and the quantum launch. I think it was it you that? Okay, so first
Seals
of all,
Corp?
I remember, I believe you were talking about LAES the other day. If it's somebody else, maybe not. But this stock has been hurting for a while. But the one thing I wanted to remember about LAES is $2. See this? Every time for the last 2 years, this stock has bounced off of $2. So it's got 50 cents to go, and then we have a chance, and it might be worth having a look at this sucker. That's a 1, 2, like breakout, 1, 2, 3, and this would be the 4th time that it potentially bounces off that $2 level. So maybe there is something there. Again, I'm not gonna, I think you're just blindly speculating, but I remember the last time that stock got brought up, it was like, yeah, there's a monster level on it. Market bounced off VWAP. That's close enough to a VWAP bounce to jump out of QBTS, so I'm done with that one. It was just a reversion into VWAP. Really didn't even give you that much room. Like, it's effectively like a 1.5 down there to be able to grab it. Kenview's gotten smaller, not as interested. That penny stock delete is now 5 million shares to the sell side. Why is that there? Oh, I'm like, why is that there twice? That's from...
I'm just glad that Canada didn't disrupt any of the elections, or else, now we'd have the air plus the elections. Like, that would have been a lot right there. But we do have...
I'm just biting my tongue.
We do have one in Adara back there, and of course, all of Asia on their tippy toes here, as we had yesterday about China there yesterday with potential warning of election fraud as well. But all right, let's go back over, see what's going on at the desk.
Yeah, how many tariffs you got? A lot, apparently. But right now we're going to be here with 21 Savage here. I've got one with me. We're going to talk about the Asian markets and how to approach them heading into, I guess, Sunday night session now. But what did they give us last night, just to start it off?
Yeah, okay. So funny you should mention, Sean. But yeah, in Shanghai, we had a big news on $8.6 billion IPO liquidity drain. So the market's basically memory giant CXMT. Their upcoming $8.6 billion mega IPO panicked that of both retail as well as institutional accounts. There's fears about drained liquidity from an already vulnerable cash equity market. So a lot of investors aggressively dumping their tech portfolios in Shanghai. We see in Hong Kong, they also snapped their 5-day winning streak. Of course, backed off on semiconductors and tech all going to the downside. And in Japan, the same thing happened. The machinery route, heavyweights like Tokyo Electron were down by 8.1%, Advantest down by 7.2%, as well as Kioxia Holdings, they were the biggest downside at 16.1%. But let's look into the open on Sunday. Now, a lot of markets will be closed for the Monday or the Sunday open. We got Japan, they're closed for Marine Day. So a lot of regional liquidity, especially for China and Taiwan. The tech cross-border volumes will be going on there. Kospi, South Korea will close today. So on Sunday, keep an eye out for a defensive open. 4 or 6% of that global semiconductor sell-off will be definitely going into the market in South Korea. So retail margin calls, watch out for that, as well as some pressure from all the paused single stock leveraged ETF listings. And in India, okay, so they've got some earnings over the weekend from some major banks such as HDFC, ICICI, Kotak Mahindra, as well as Axis Bank. So if there are some strong numbers coming from those earnings, so definitely will be bringing the Nifty 50 all the way back up. But if there are misses, there's going to be triggering some mean reversion back to 24,100.
Lots to watch out for. Maybe not all of the Asian markets will be covered in the next Asian market update, but either way, it will occur at 3:30 p.m. And the European market update with one occurs at 11:30 a.m. So join us here every day. Back to the guys.
The one and only.
Thank you, there as always. Thank you, Juan. One is always. The one and only, as you say, and always good information. So much more focus now on the Asian markets because of what you see with SK Hynix and well, not just them, but Samsung as well. Samsung got burnt because of that spend that they're doing. So I might take an early shot I said it was a little bit early, but Kenview's still about 7 mil. And now if it breaks,
Crap, it's almost closing.
Yeah, if it breaks 93, I'm just gonna probably punch this one long, and I'm looking to play this spike into the imbalance with the idea that if it comes out a bid, that's the exit liquidity. So 15 minutes we're gonna have the imbalances, but that's a pretty big one here. 7 million into 12 million of an imbalance. If it breaks this 93, I'm gonna get long. Let's go to Adara at the desk.
Yeah, a little bit of an update here, or an uptick in TSM rather. People, I've seen people say on Truth Social, or on X rather, that Trump posted about this name again on Truth Social. I'm not seeing this, but he also posted like 5 times in the last 5 minutes. But either way, the thing that he's actually saying is just what we already know, which is that TSM has announced an additional $100 billion investment in Arizona. So TSM bouncing on, I've noticed kind of a repeat behavior that President Trump does, which is posting about old stories or announcing things we already know here on Truth. If I get more details, I'll let you know. But currently, Truth Social says that I'm scrolling too fast. Back to you.
Okay, yeah, I mean, a lot of posts going on and flying through now there. I'm just going to try to hold SpaceX into the close just to see. We're going to get stopped out soon if this breaks through what did I put the stop at? Yeah, 124.40, which was that last little wick right there. Well, you know what? Let's wait till 50s break now that I see where this 25 period moving average is, 124.51. All right, a breakout over there, and we'll move aside with SpaceX. So let's wait to see if there's any sort of an actionable trade here into the close. We're short right here, just underneath 124. Again, as if it's worth more than the moon, then this is a bad position. But we're just going to give
Earth.
the Earth, sorry. To the moon, but worth more than the Earth, right? So 124.50 is going to be a stop zone there on SpaceX. Got caught going long there. It's funny because we were only short all day, and then I think if that never happened, then we probably still are looking at a short of 126 and change, but it did. So, we will not blame anybody but ourselves. We're putting the trades on. So now we'll wait to see what happens here to a possible downside push right now for SpaceX. If it all happens, we do have the imbalances coming through there as well.
Zion.
Yeah, I mean,
for a swing trade, good entry for SK Hynix long. Asking for a friend, would you guys consider long the stock? I think if I got into the memory names, I'd probably just play DRAM, and this is not the spot. I feel like you're buying the top after it's not really an IPO, but after a big issue like this, it feels like you're buying the top. So I don't want to invest in it personally, but I get the notion for the swing. I want to make a correction. It did break that 150 this morning, but it failed the breakdown. So it did break the low underneath the 150 level, and I believe 149 was the actual issue. So it did lose that and then regained it. So there was a liquidity grab underneath that price, which isn't a bad reversal setup. But you have to ask yourself, did you already not get that bounce? It did that and went 10% and did so in a couple of hours. Pretty quick. So you got to ask, is that the move? And you already got your lick grab underneath. So to each their own. It hasn't even confirmed this hold until we close and hold that today anyways. And we're not even done with the session. It's already still falling, only 1% up. But it is that 149 that's got to be the key. Because I feel like if you lose that price again, you lose it not for good, but you lose it for real. Like next week, if it breaks 149, I'd be looking short next week on SK Hynix. We can only just talk about what we're looking at here. And I also think the same thing. I just think the safer place to be. Look at the difference in chart between DRAM and SK Hynix. I'm actually kicking myself for why when DRAM was up here did we short 55 on that and SKHY, because I keep typing it wrong. But at the same time, if you short worked, but if you take SK Hynix short, look at the follow through. So SK Hynix was actually weaker than the ETF, which I think does not bode well for its short term. But we'll see.
Yeah, I don't. Not too sure about what we're going to see with SK Hynix. I mean, we had some people, SanDisk, Micron. There's a lot of reasons to get into those names as well. So kind of pick your poison on one of those if you wanted to do something. Apple, no, not Not at day's high. Let's see what Palantir is doing here as well. PLTR 132 and change here for Palantir, bouncing off VWAP. So the market is kind of trying to figure itself out at VWAP. There's only 12 more minutes left. I don't think it's a smart idea to take anything, too much market related. Those imbalances will come in. Sometimes, especially on a Friday here, could be relatively big if people are trying to manage their positions into the weekend and just trying to get out on a certain level on the NASDAQ, down 1.5%. Someone in the chat was like, hey, what if over the weekend, things escalate? I mean, we did have that report there yesterday from President Trump about China. So, there could be something going on there. We do that USO is up, 3% or something today, starting to go almost 4% today. That rally could continue into the weekend as well. So let's just be careful on some of the things that may or may not happen over the weekend and potentially could make a lot of sense, people getting short because, or at least getting out of their trades. Like today was a pretty violent, like if that was the thought early, maybe that's the thought late as well. So it's something to consider here on a downside move on the NASDAQ early as people panic for a Friday. Will the panic sell come back here into the close? I guess momentarily we'll all find out. So that's what's going to happen with the NASDAQ. And, SMH today, SoxL, all of these names just continued on a downside turn, right? I mean, Marvell turned a little bit up there at the end of the day off of this move here in the afternoon. So did a stock like AMD. AMD, I don't think got back into, not yet. Did not get back into 500 yet. But that was pretty close there. All right, so now we just took a fill there on SpaceX at 50s, I believe, or so. So now let's wait to see if there is that final, push to the downside here for SpaceX. It doesn't look like it, so we're starting to get a little out. 10 minutes left here on SPCX. So that's what's coming next. We'll see where this market goes. But yeah, SK Hynix, an interesting name for sure. I know Sia's did like sort of a sector watch and a happening now, but it's like if you're going to look over here, things have turned quite red now. Earlier today we did have some help from the financials that were helping this go a little bit, and now today there's almost no green financial names in here. Travelers, so maybe some of the insurance names are starting to be a little green there. But on what was a very positive week for banks, starting to turn a little bit on their side here into the close. So just be careful now as bank stocks starting to go the other way, probably helping the ES. I don't know if the ES is down 1% or what the ES is down right now. Let me have a quick check on that one. Yeah, down 1.09%. So trying to catch up with the NASDAQ, and a lot of that is on the back of financial weakness. So just pay attention to it, and let's go over to the desk with Sia.
Let's talk here about another post from President Trump on Truth Social. As I mentioned, he keeps posting. Nothing massive to say here. I just wanted to address it because he's praising CPI for June 2026, saying it was below the forecast of every single economist, according to him, 67 economists that were polled here by Bloomberg. So Trump praising economic data here, just worth a mention. Yesterday as well, he also praised the stock market again during that election-related speech. So just, a lot coming here from President Trump this afternoon. Like massive, massive power hour posting spree. Back to you.
But it hasn't done anything for the overall market. And I just saw in the chat, good conversation. We always have the best conversations and a great community in the chat. But one of the things that it was ongoing is, hey, the reminder that cash is a position over a weekend. I know there's swing traders out there that are like, oh, well, this is what I'm looking at. This is what I want to do. But we got major earnings next week. You've got Iran headlines at the wazoo. For sure. So there's a lot of moving parts in here, and we're in an extremely volatile state. And to the point, just to go back to the SK Hynix, it's literally the most volatile major cap tech name right now. Right? Like it's like there isn't a big company moving around more than SK Hynix.
No, that's right.
And doubly so. So it's probably like the riskiest over the weekend stock that you could, obviously like big cap tech stock that you could look at. You could be holding, the riskiest stock you could probably be holding is that VEE thing. Like Twin V Power is probably percentage-wise the riskiest thing. No, but SK Hynix, that's one you definitely want to be careful with for sure. And next week, we're going to run that gauntlet for sure. Only about 8 minutes to go.
Let's do that. Let's do the earnings.
Oh, we haven't done the earnings calendar yet?
No, I mean we did a lot. We did yesterday.
We talked about it. I thought we had done it. We talked about the gauntlet next week. I thought we'd put that up. No, let's get the earnings calendar up because that's another point for why this can be extra volatile. It's tricky to get in right before major earnings, for sure. Like this is going to be huge. Like this is a put up or shut up earnings season here. Let's go to Adara.
Yeah, so there's a lot here, guys. Obviously, this is not everything, but these are like the largest ones. You've got here on Monday morning, actually, two names, which you don't always get on Mondays, Domino's and AMC. AMC initially was supposed to be after the bell on Monday, but they changed that. I already have a Domino's earnings preview on X, and there's an AMC one coming soon. Then you've got here on Tuesday morning some decent names here, GM and 3M, probably the most notable. On Wednesday morning, you've got GEV, Philip Morris, and AT&T. Wednesday after the bell is when things get incredibly spicy. Tesla, IBM, Google, Texas Instruments, and ServiceNow. I think all five of those certainly are going to be of note, especially for IBM and ServiceNow, given the SaaS-mageddon 2.0. On Thursday morning, you get some names of interest here, Lockheed Martin and Nokia, probably the two most interesting in two very different sectors. On Thursday afternoon, you get Intel, another massive name. And Friday morning, also weirdly stacked here for earnings, Verizon, Charter Communications, American Express among them. Back to you.
So on Wednesday, I was telling this to Sean, on Wednesday, GE Vernova is going to report before the market even opens up. So imagine, I'm not saying it's going to open down, but imagine a world in which they disappoint and their guidance is poor, right? It's already going to get smoked because power has been on an absolute tear for them. Then imagine a scenario where Alphabet reports after the market on the same day and their CapEx spend goes down because they have some concerns. GE Vernova could lose 25 points. It could pull an IBM.
Yeah.
Like easily. And speaking of IBM, they're going to be reporting. Now, we already got the preliminary report, which absolutely crapped the bed. CEO with the letter out. There's like potential lawsuits over this letter. I don't think anything will happen because of that. Preliminary earnings happen all the time. And if he was just being honest about the outlook and it doesn't look that good, then how are you going to hate on them for that? But that's right back into the lows. Everyone that was excited, remember what we talked about with this bounce that it had. If you have a bounce after a Huadong to the downside and it doesn't break out prior resistance, it's still a downtrend. IBM is still selling off. What you've at least had is a hold of the higher low. So now you got 210. Do it once, do it twice. It would matter more if they didn't have to report next week, but they do. And that's just the reality. So they're up against it because this is a 200, like this area, 220, is a multi-year support level for IBM. And if it falters at this price, nasty. And I've held IBM for a very long time. Not only have I held it for a long time, but I've added it this 220 price now twice. So, there's a lot at stake this week. Just one quick note here. With only 4 minutes to go with the imbalances, the penny stock that is getting deleted is still here. Oh yeah, it's Amex, so it'll show up twice, NYC and the broker. But 6.7 to sell. Kenvue got smaller, so that actually doesn't really even look all that good anymore. It was 7 million to buy. Now it's only 5, so that's probably going to be a bit of a nothing burger. The idea with any imbalance in the early look is you kind of want it to be growing. So you want 7 million to turn to 10 million, to then come out at like 15 million. That's not what's happening. It's actually going smaller, so now down to 5 as well. That Goro also getting smaller. So I'm just going to get on the offer, maybe even get out. I'm going to just get it right here. Whatever. Yeah, I'm going to get it for what? The idea is that it's supposed to grow. If it's getting smaller, then I don't want that trade. And if it is what it is, like it popped like a cent, who cares?
Yep, good luck over there trying to limit some of the risk here into the close. I'm starting to get, although it's only 15, 20 cents in the money, I'm starting to get a little bit more out here on SpaceX as hopefully it falls back in. Also bidding 123.75 just to take a quarter. And then if that imbalance comes red, then, we'll get filled on the bid and all that'll be good to go. And if it comes green, not good. And our stop out will trigger at 124.50. So we're just trying to, massage this trade a little bit here and hope that it does make a move lower. And there it is. We did not get a fill there. I thought we did. 170. Oh yeah, we did. We had another 80 there by accident. We're waiting for 175 now. We just told you that's where our fill is. And we just missed it again off 175. That sucks. 123.75. That's the bid. So we're waiting for that. Hopefully that comes in. One little more swipe here before the imbalances would be nice. And again, 350 is when they come out. And you could see yesterday on SpaceX, this is today, but yesterday's imbalance whoosh must have been a sell on SpaceX. We'll see if that could, this is 350 yesterday. So it actually just kind of started with a downside push there, went from 130, 270 down to 130. Not expecting anything like that today, but hey, man, if it happens, it happens. So that's what we're doing right now on SpaceX, waiting for that move, and their stop is where it is. So that's all good right now. There it goes. Yeah, let's go. Nice move to the downside there. We'll see if we can get filled even some more at CO with Crypto. SMCI with crypto?
But I'm so sorry. Yes, let's take a look at what crypto markets are doing right now. We have BTC, Bitcoin, that's well, relatively flat on the day, but a bit towards the upside. You could say trading around the $64,112 region. So wiping out, I would say almost its earlier intraday losses. Currently flat on the day. It's climbed a little bit over here, so that is a pretty not a bad look over here. Ethereum down on the day 1%, trading around $1,840 region here. With finally Solana, that's also sliding a little bit. Nothing too crazy, just down 0.16% at the moment. That's trading around $75 at the moment.
You can see it now, less than 1 minute to go until we get those imbalances. We'll have them right up. I'm going to throw up, I actually threw up SpaceX.
I might wind up throwing up.
No, just like I threw up SpaceX on my individual imbalance locator where I just track usually I'll track like the biggest name, like the one that looks most interesting, whatever this ARI stock, which is now popped up because Kenvue's no good. And then I'll throw SpaceX up there. And that way, when we're looking at all the clutter of all the things that are over 1 million, I can isolate and then be able to see the ones that I'm interested in. It also helps me to answer questions. So people are like, oh, well, what's the imbalance on this stock? I can add it to my list, and then it throws up there. Use your symbol list editor if you're at Real Trading. It's a very useful tool to be able to narrow down your watch list. So 10 seconds to go. Remember, it's also end of the week. It's a Friday, so imbalances are always bigger. Do expect to have a little bit of fireworks here and volume spikes. And then again at 3:55. But it's ARI, and it's going to be SpaceX, which is out, and I see it.
Up.
It's a 700,000 buy in SpaceX.
Boo.
No NVDA?
I'm going to start to get out a little
Where's
bit
the
here.
big caps here? Nothing. Fastly, 1.3 million to the buy side. Usually like NVIDIA's in here or some big cap names. Walmart at 1 million shares. Wow, this is the SPY for 1 million. So not really anything interesting. Cisco, that's pretty small, 800,000. Even Intel's only 800,000. So yeah, for the end of the week, it's really just these smaller names here, like Kenvue.
Right there has the total there. 2.1 to buy.
From where?
Man, I'm gonna sneeze.
Yeah, 2.1 million to buy overall. That's not a huge number, but without seeing any of the big cap tech names leading the list, I'd say that's a pretty big nothing burger for sure. And Kenvue came out smaller, so I'm glad we probably, this is the reason you get out of it. The idea behind that trade is, it's consolidating and there's a buy imbalance. If it grows, you're just flashing into VWAP. The second it shrunk, just punch out. So I basically literally just used this thing. Once it went from 7 million to 5 million, just get out of the trade. If it goes 7 million to 10 million, just let yourself get filled going into VWAP. But that is what it is. I didn't see SK Hynix on here for those that are asking. Here I can just do this live, SKHY.NQ, hit save, and then I'll be able to find if there was an imbalance there. SK Hynix has a buy imbalance of 700,000. So not going to show up here, but I just popped it onto my list, and then there it is. SK Hynix, 700,000 buy imbalance. So buys on that, which makes a little bit of sense. Profit taking, closing position, that was mostly short, so probably a little profit taking going into the weekend. See, even the people that are in the money probably want to make sure they're in some cash.
So right here, Neil's most recent picks. We're going to go over this. We just got a couple more minutes left right now. So I believe this is pretty accurate to what everyone's been doing. Randy, SNDK. So this is until basically December 31st. Like we're just saying, we did the first 6 months there where I was able to have Marvell, and that was a great play. But this is moving forward now. So all these plays, there, Randy coming through. There's Sia behind us, Bloom, JP Morgan, NVIDIA. And then Tata, so that's a good one there. We'll have to see. That's Indian, right? Indian car manufacturer.
Yes.
There, Fabian, TSM. So Fabian's going all chip right here with an interesting name from Japan here at the end. So that should be a fun one to track as we continue to go on. The chat, we just wrote down, we have to figure out, where these are coming from, but the chat is these are just very, very popular names out in the wild, basically, right? Like if you go onto Twitter, you go on anywhere else, SpaceX, Tesla, obviously big names, NVIDIA, Micron, Palantir. These are kind of just like the chalk names that a lot of day traders out there are looking at. So that's what, I just don't want to zoom in and ruin everything. Okay, there's zooming in. So, all right, see now, okay, all right. There you go. Okay. I was going to make sure because last time I did it, it screwed something up. All right. So that's the chat. Neil here. For some reason, we got to put a little symbol there if we can find it. XLF. So the fine name.
Yeah, it doesn't really have.
Yeah, it doesn't really. Maybe it doesn't. Or the State Street symbol or something. There's AbbVie, Warner Brothers, Hood. So you're staying as far away from the chip game as possible right there. Nothing technology related there, basically. I mean, Robinhood, I guess, is somewhat of a tech name. Here's Joe, Alphabet. We like that play. JP Morgan, Walmart, AMAT, and TSM. So TSM is a good one. All these prices, regardless of when we made them, are going in right now. So whatever the end of the day is. And, we're all getting a little bit of a bonus because the market's down today. So
everyone gets a better
pretty
price.
much all these, unless like Google yesterday, I think Google's up today. But other than that, there's Tiffany working the desk over there with Andre. So she's got NVIDIA, Apple, Taiwan semis, and then a couple of different names here in China with HSBC. I believe there might be a Canadian symbol for that, but on Hong Kong, and then MTR. I don't know what that is. We'll find out there. Andre as well.
It's dual listed. That's on the New York.
HSBC? That's what I thought too. Yeah.
Fabian, that's dual listed.
And even MTR might be as well. So we'll find out. Anything dual listed, we'd rather have
it
that symbol in. It'd be easier to track for everybody. Andre there, big names there as well. For me, I said to Fabian, maybe it seems like I like Qualcomm so much I have it here twice. But that's not going to be my last pick. And then Brendan, Tesla, CG, Iron, Space. So Brendan rolling with the same, but added SpaceX there. So we'll see where that's going. You're going to get a good price tonight on the SpaceX ad, it looks like. One in there going pretty much a lot of, active, aggressive names. Microsoft, Broadcom, Eli Lilly. I mean, I like all three of those. SpaceX, NEE. People are trying to shoot the moon here with SpaceX, guys? We'll see how that goes. Sharif. Come on, man. He's going with short on. So he's going oppo of everybody else right now. He's going short SpaceX basically with NASA ETF there. So that's Sharif, and then Netflix short. I don't know about that one. But doesn't matter, is my opinion. Adara, big time shorts today with Starbucks in there as their only long, adding Intel and Adobe most recently. So those should be great picks as well. Obi looks like he's added a few here. So Century Aluminum short, gold short, Next Nav long, Trivago long, and Agilon Health. Okay, so thank you to Obi for that one. I think Obi came in second last time. Shout out to Obi. There again, we'll see if he comes in second again. And then Mateo, more names here coming through. Man, this was so some interesting ones here. But my next and last pick is just going to be what's up on the screen right now. I'm joining one right now. I didn't even know one had it, but it's nice that he does. I'm going to go with Microsoft. I just thought that, with this new era for compute, I really think more computers. I'm hearing a lot about Copilot and sort of the success they've been having implementing Copilot back into their software. So many people still using Windows in all of their products. I'm going to say Microsoft is a play for me heading into the new year. I really think it appreciates at least to VWAP, and that's only 440. With earnings coming in following weeks, I think Microsoft has a big upside move here with Azure, and just hearing that, hey, things are going better at Microsoft than we think. So got hit there in SaaSmageddon. I don't believe that's right. Microsoft there upside based on LinkedIn, also Xbox. I think there's a lot of different avenues for Microsoft. So I like Microsoft to the upside at some point. So I'm going to add Microsoft as my fifth pick and a little bit of chalk there for sure. With just a
Microsoft's
household
chalk?
name.
I don't think that's true.
Everyone has, I think it is. Everyone owns Microsoft in their portfolios. I mean,
Google's
it's
chalk,
the number one.
But it's one of the worst
Google.
Mag 7 names.
I mean, that's
to me,
kind of why I like
chalk
it.
is like it's got like a one of one. You can only call like Apple or
Chalk just means
Google
like a
chalk.
favorite.
But like the overwhelming favorite.
Yeah. I mean, Microsoft might not be, but I mean, again,
I don't know if
one of the largest holders of the Nasdaq, one of the
That's
largest
fair.
in the S&P 500. So we'll see if it goes. I almost took the Nasdaq, the Qs, but
Because I think it's counter trend. To me, if it's counter trend, you can't call it chalk. I think that's stepping out there for sure. We do have a super chat with only 2 minutes to go. Late super chat.
we do got to get to Adara, I think, as well.
Oh, we are? Let's go to
there
Adara,
first.
then we'll get it.
See what she's up to.
I'll be quick, guys. Just be aware. U.S. Central Commander CENTCOM saying the U.S. military is conducting strikes in Iran. Like, we've already known they're conducting strikes, but unfortunately looks like there could be more tensions here with the U.S. and Iran. Now, remember, we had some comments here from an Iranian general earlier today suggesting that Iran is, at this point, a couple days away from just going, in their opinion, from defense, which they say they've been playing, to full-on offense. So things could get more tense here in the Middle East. Back to you.
So, Willis, what's up with the mom thing? Netflix ripping mom? Like it's like when I see MOM,
it
it's
must
like
stand for something.
it stands for month over month.
Oh,
But it's not ripping month over month. So obviously that can't be what you're referring to.
just referring to maybe the fact that it will rip.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Your son did good today on the dip. Netflix is going to possibly close at its high of the day. I don't want to be that person that jinxed it with 1 minute to go, but a good recovery day. Sometimes I know it's down 7%, but ignore that. It's been all buy. All buy, all day long, market closing at lows, and day one of response to the Netflix earnings was for it to catch a bid. Do try to remember that it is still underneath that breakdown level of 71 change, 72, now 71. Still underneath the flat bottom break. So yes, it is trying to fill in a bit of that gap. Good story, at least for now, but you got to confirm it next week for sure. If it doesn't get back above the 71, this is still a breakdown trade on Netflix. They didn't really like what they saw, and nobody's really liked what they've seen from the charts.
Fabian has confirmed this. So this is the kind of level that Fabian is on right here. Over the last 13 days, from June, although 13 log days, I guess. So 13 days here, trading days, right? From June the 16th to July 14th. There's been almost 30,000 ticker mentions from you guys in the chat. 30,000 ticker mentions in 13 days?
I didn't know it was that many.
Okay, Fabian, I'm not sure the math is right,
That's
but
crazy.
if it is, man, wow, right there. By the way, this is brought to you by Origenics. We want to say thank you to them for sponsoring right here, right now. Origenics, go check them out. Symbol OGEN on your ticker. Yeah, okay. It just meant it's not just the ticker mentions. It's just like anytime someone put SPCX in there or anything like that. So yeah, I guess that is a ticker mention. And this is the last 5 that everybody's mentioned. And so when I was talking about it, you know, this is, and then all these unique users, we can even take all of that. So there's 445 of you that had mentioned SpaceX, 234 NVIDIA, so on and so forth. So this is where we got it from. I mean, we could sort of we can almost use the chat and use all 10 of these really and just average it out if we wanted to do that. But I like this, man, the last 5.
Yeah.
So there it is, man. And I think these are all names that if you peruse through Twitter, you know, probably it's something very similar to what retail's been looking at, right? So there we go, man. That's where the chat comes from. We'll put together either a Dara will or Fabian will or something. We'll put together a nice little chart that shows what people are picking there.
Yes.
We also do have, it's actually at the bottom, it shows how many industrial names, how many technology
That's
names.
the coolest part of the new thing that Fabian did build. Like there's a little breakdown so you can see which sectors we're favoring.
Pretty
Dara?
sweet.
So I was thinking about this. I want to give you guys an update visual, but we have so many people involved now that it's almost like impossible to do
I
it where
know.
it looks attractive. And where it's not just a whole hodgepodge of things. So if I can figure that out, which I'll try to do next week, then I'll post one, but I want to post something for the sake of posting it if it looks ugly.
We could do like one that is like the hosts and maybe another one that's like, you know, production. Yeah.
We'll figure something out.
There's lots, something will happen there. But we'll consider it all as well. Like for some reason, Mateo's still in there. I mean, it's really. It's like
Every time I walk past him, he tells me to buy Cineplex.
Well, you also haven't walked past him in 2 months at least.
Oh, it's true.
So there we go.
No, but he put Cineplex as his pick now.
Is that even one of his picks?
It is. And like back when, because all the guys are working remote because of the renovations, and like he would every single time go to the bathroom, like months ago, Cineplex. I haven't looked at that stock in forever. I have no idea who's gonna win on Sunday, but I'm gonna begrudgingly root for Argentina because I think that would be the storybook ending.
Man, that was exactly my reason.
No, but I was completely like, I don't care. But it gives me a reason to, when I'm watching the game, to cheer for somebody.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would just literally not care.
And I just like how they basically just said F you to everybody in the last 10 minutes. It was like, okay, you know, we'll let the cat play with his toy, and then all of a sudden, we'll just take it away from him right at the end. They gave Egypt a chance. They thought, Egypt thought they were going to win. England thought they were going to win. And then at the end of the day, it was like, no, thank you. You know, we'll take that away from you.
They just snatched hopes and dreams.
Like
it was
playing with their food there. So anyways, I like Argentina. I think it's going to be a good one. And yeah, man, it might possibly be rigged for Argentina, although I didn't say anything last game. We'll see what winds up happening there on the weekend. Spain actually, didn't they in the European league there on one of those championships, they beat France 5-1 as well. So Spain is very legit. I mean, they also beat obviously France there on Tuesday. So that should be an absolutely great game. We just got our schedule for our tournament in Ottawa for baseball. We have one game Saturday morning at 7:30 a.m. Our very next game that day is 8 p.m. under the lights. So it's like our girls are going to go, they're going to play at 7:30, then we have all day to basically do absolutely nothing, and then we got to go again at 8 p.m., which is kind of crazy. 2 games on Friday, 2 games
the
on
tournament
Saturday.
Organizer.
Yeah, it's because they want us under the lights. I'm certain of it. We won it last year, and they're probably putting us under the lights.
Yeah, but then you shouldn't have to play the
It does
early
seem
morning
really
game.
bad
That's
that we
trash.
have that early
You don't.
morning game
That's
like
stupid.
It just
really
gives the
hard
girls
to-
all day off.
It's hard to be sharp. I was in a tournament with that.
Can't sleep in.
I'm
honestly.
getting that way because I was in a tournament where that happened to us. We played in a Kingston tournament, and they did that to us, and we barely lost the morning game.
Yeah.
And then a team we should have beat, we lost the evening game
I
too.
know.
And it's just because it's hard. You can't be sharp after sitting for 12 hours. That's
Well,
stupid.
Yeah, they won't be. They
Lay
won't be
the
sharp
smackdown on
anyways,
them,
these
dude.
Guys, yeah. Well, yeah. We'll send a complaint in, but we'll see what ends up happening there with that one. All right, man. Good show overall. We have to see what happens with SpaceX. See ya.
See ya.
You just wave. Let's see ya. That stuff's never gonna get old, right? It's like the one and only. We got to see ya over there and everything like that. All right, enjoy the weekend, man. Hopefully the smoke gets better around here. Thanks everybody for watching. Joe, thanks for sticking back with us. See ya, Dara. Thank you so much for that as well. Over there we've got one. We've got Adara. We've got Tiffany, Andre. Adara's behind us, of course. Thank you to Michael over there. Thank you, Michael, for everything today. And then we've got Fabian and Ramin. Hope I didn't forget anybody other than Brendan. So thank you to Brendan as well. And thank you, Randy, for supervising and making sure that YouTube is working.
Shout out to
us,
Michael this morning.
by watching car videos as
Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, and
the viewers.
Big shout out to
Thanks for all
everybody.
the super chats.
That's there as well. All right, ciao. See you on Monday, 8 p.m., 8 a.m. or p.m.